Never Again Radio episode maybe 13 or 14. Those are going a lot smoother.
Hot damn.
Everything's recording. We're good?
Yeah, you're good.
Smokerhead Barbecue.
Hot damn.
Welcome. Pa.
What's up, people? Watermans.
How are you?
Good to be here in Nazareth, PA.
Yeah, how far are you from here? Like an hour and 20?
About an hour 20. Yeah, like Northeast Philly. Dude, you guys have a Jay's cheesesteaks.
Dude, there's a bunch.
They're on a comeback.
Is Jay's making a comeback?
You know, there's one in Nazareth. There's one in Bath.
It's the same guy. It's the same guy opening them all.
They were huge in 88, man.
The one in Nazareth.
Yeah, yeah, rough.
We used to go in there and you would just smell. It would be like going into a bar and you know how you leave smells.
The one in Northampton, if you legitimately go there and buy a cheesesteak, you walk out and it still leaks to the back.
Oh.
It is all the vitamins and minerals.
It was always shady. They would do cheese fries with shady, super yellow cheese sauce.
Yeah.
There was one in Coopersburg where I grew up, and they had a mini golf course, but no one took care of it.
Yeah,
so it was just overgrown. And you know, you get like a free cheesesteak if you get it in the Clown at the end or whatever. So we were 13. We'd always just be like, "Dude, we got it in the Clown." The guys, here's your cheesesteak.
He's like, "Wow, you guys are the only ones."
Yeah. You're not supposed to be on there.
There's one guy who's like opening a bunch, and I guess his idea is that if he opens 20 of them, then he'll just make amount of money off of them. But I went to the one in Nazareth because we do food bets for JCE. So like with football season, we'll do like, all right, well, who's taking this and that, and then loser buys food, and we go buy the team. So I think it was Philly, so we were getting cheesesteak. I walked in, there was a Juggalo vacuuming.
Yes, as there should be in a Jay's.
And then he looks at me, and then he just goes back to vacuuming. He doesn't stop like, oh, hey, there's a customer.
Yeah.
And then the girl behind the counter was just like pulling her pants up and on her phone, and I turned around and left.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just go to the pizza shop. I'm good.
Well, no, I went in there too, and like I'll give everybody a fair shake. So I'll go in there and be like, listen, give me like a large, like I want everything on it.
Oh,
I want,
shit.
Like, you want to do this?
You're
You want to
asking
do?
for trouble,
dude,
man.
I want like the best stuff you can possibly give me. And I took one bite and I go, this
shit.
This is like Steakums.
Yeah, yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah, I can't believe they're making a comeback. Little Caesars is making a comeback too.
That's because hot and ready, man. Hot and ready, $5 hot and ready.
Their pan pizzas are all right. Their hot and ready's are shit.
Hot and ready, $5.
I haven't had Little Caesars. They used to be in Giant, or not in Giant, in Wing Gap. And remember when they had like the Bigfoot pizza?
Oh yeah, that was their claim to fame.
It was 2 pizzas in one. Yeah, pizza.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of kids, so like my mom had. What do you have? 3 girls or 4?
I think 3.
3.
The 4th one's still going through a court process, and it's the whole thing.
So my parents, when you have multiple kids like that, it would be like, oh, cool, massive
Get
giant
a
pizza.
Bigfoot. Yeah. Little Caesars were good. But
What is that style supposed to be? Like Chicago?
No, it's no.
Norristown pizza.
No. Have you ever had real Chicago pizza?
No.
If you had it, you wouldn't even say that.
Well, that's a battle, is whether that's considered pizza.
It is.
It is, man.
It is, but lately on like all like Munchies and all the different.
That's because they're cunts.
Yeah.
Well, all the food people, the big thing, and I think it's just they're doing it for a topic.
Yeah,
Sure.
But they're saying like, oh, it's more like
it's fucking great.
No,
like pasta.
Illuminati's. You get a fucking pizza. You wait. It's like fucking 45 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And
80 pounds.
We got it. It was like 4 of us, and we're like, well, we probably need like 2 pizzas.
Yeah.
My friend's like, no, just one. I go, 2 fucking pizzas. Let's get it. We sat outside, and they bring out these fucking things, and I was like, oh. It was so fucking good.
Yeah.
We took it back on the plane. Everyone on the plane was like, what do you got? I'm like, stay the fuck away.
Yeah.
It is so good.
Chicago Pizza took me down. It was, me and 2 other guys on a job out there in the middle of like a blizzard. And Chicago blizzards are fucking cold, man. It's negative 400 or something. You know what I mean? It's like
plus obviously
the weather
it's a
there
windy
is
city.
miserable.
But it's a windy city. But the wind travels
great
through
there.
the buildings.
Oh, it's stupid.
Like wind tunnels. So everywhere you go, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
And it just kills you.
So we went and we're like, let's get some fucking beers, couple pitchers of beer, fried mushrooms. Start off with that, and let's get 2 freaking large pies.
Starting off,
dude. I had to take a knee in the middle of a blizzard. Like I'm hallucinating and I'm fucked up. Like I was out 8:30. I'm like laying in a bed sweating. Like
what would you? So you wouldn't really be able to drink beers while you're eating Chicago pizza?
No,
would you have to have wine? Water to
ether.
Help down. All I know is we went to Illuminati's.
Something's got to cut through.
we went to Illuminati's, and then he was like, "Hey, we're gonna go and watch." Like they had college football on, so we're gonna go watch. And I go, "Oh, okay." Yeah. We walk in, the guy's like, "The cover's $25," and I go, "What the fuck is this place?" He goes, "No, it's open bar for the length of the game."
Oh shit!
And I go, "Are you even allowed to do that?"
Yeah.
And he goes, are you coming in? And I was like, well, I guess so.
Yeah.
So everybody was shit faced. So we ate all day, and all day long you're just like, I just want to vomit. It's so, but
I would guess everyone would be overly drunk. So people would be like, I'm getting my money's worth. I'm getting my money's worth. Slamming until they have 12 beers.
You order 2 or 3 beers at a time, and they just sit there and pound.
Yeah.
But Chicago is such a good fucking city.
Chi-town.
It's back in time. It's like 10 years.
Yeah.
So we went to a bar and they're playing shit from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're rocking it like it's the new thing that just came out.
Yeah.
But the people were great.
People are great. It's one of my favorite food cities.
I love it.
How are the hot dogs?
Fantastic. And you think
are they different?
They're very different. I mean, they have what? Tomatoes, these little peppers.
There's green
relish, like super green relish, and celery seed. A bunch of bullshit where you're like, that sounds lame.
No, it's
and then
good.
you get it and you're like, it's fucking delicious.
Do you fuck around with hot dogs at the store?
Love hot dogs. We
It's got to be hard getting people to be interested in a hot dog when there's everything else on the menu.
It's true. Although people did start coming in because we posted it and they were like, dude, you got the fucking hot dog? We're like,
I love hot dogs.
So do I, dude. I really do.
Travel for them.
I absolutely do. They're a great fucking meal.
Yeah. They're like one of my favorite things. You can do them in the air fryer.
I believe it.
Deep fried hot dogs. I started doing that
Jersey
when
doesn't.
I would cook.
Now, the only
Rippers, Jersey.
The only thing that is shady is you ever hear of a Jersey Italian dog where they put peppers and home fries.
Just like act like an asshole.
It's pretty much. It's boiled in Axe. It's boiled in Axe body spray. It's fucking.
You spray with fucking hair. And what's your problem?
Yeah, you throw it. So that's all you do. But it's like home fries and peppers on it. It's like, I don't know. You're getting kind of
get out of here.
Yeah, it's too much. But hot dogs are fucking great.
Now, have you? Because you're out to really. They do have some.
Yeah.
They have one here in Allentown. Have you gone to Eimers?
No,
you never gone to Eimers' place?
Don't know what Eimers is. Yeah.
Eimers is an
upset
it's a
farmer.
German.
Yeah.
No, it's a German. It's a German.
Does it make glue?
Meat place? No, it's Elmer's.
Oh yeah.
But no, they literally like it's a butcher and it's all like German food.
It's great.
So you get real bratwurst and you get like the white brats.
Oh fuck
that's
yeah.
pork.
Absolutely.
They have one in Allentown. They have. I think they might have 2 in Philly.
Yeah.
A couple in Jersey.
All right.
New York. You go in there and they legitimately have like you can get all that shit.
But they also have. I think
they also have and they also have like they'll have like Wiener Schnitzel and it's all fresh. Like
Wiener.
you go in there like cool, or they'll be like, hey, we have a lunch special. So
I love German food.
So good.
German and Hungarian food, I love it. You know, pierogies and sauerkraut and halushki and halupki and wrapped cabbage and noodles.
Are you German?
I don't know. I think I'm like part Hungarian.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what that amounts to.
How do you say your last name?
Sonati.
Yeah. I've been pronouncing it wrong since I met you.
Well, that C is so stupid.
Yeah.
Growing up, CS. It's like Kazanati. It doesn't make sense.
So that's
it's
like
dumb.
that's like a Polish.
Hungarian, Polish, I think. You know, like my parents were always like, you're Pennsylvania Dutch. Like, what?
Well, that's German.
What is it? German, Polish?
Yeah, my parents would always push that too.
My grandmother would always say that we were half German and half Dutch.
Yeah.
But once again, they don't really look up anything. So the only reason they were called Pennsylvania Dutch is when they were the people that came later into the country.
Yeah.
So when
but it's mainly German based.
It's all German. Yeah. So they're the ones that came into Pennsylvania earlier or later. And when they came in, because the previous Germans already came and set up settlements and did all that stuff, they were coming in, and when they would say, well, what are you? And they would say, we're Pennsylvania Deutsch.
Yeah.
Because we're Pennsylvania Deutsch. Like, that's where our family is. And that turned into Pennsylvania Dutch.
Yeah, they let Germans come in first and be like, is it cool over there?
Yeah, it's cool.
We're bringing
we're going to invade this town.
We're bringing the rest.
Yeah, we're bringing all our food. But then in the end, they came, that's how it got known. So people were like, oh, I'm part Dutch.
Yeah.
You're not fucking Dutch at all. There's no Dutch involved.
I really don't know what I am, and I don't want to do any of those DNA tests.
Not at all.
Believe me, you don't.
Oh, my God.
I don't even believe any of them are true. My brother's like, oh, do you know we're Italian? I'm like, no, we're not.
My grandmother was saying,
she goes, fucking bit of Italian in me.
She goes, well, we're part, we have like English in us, and I go, no, like the Germans when they came from Germany, they got forced out and came to England, and I go, it's like the Saxony thing. You don't know anything about that. And she goes, no. I go, just don't.
Nah.
We're German. But no, I found some bad stuff about the family. We won't talk about that. Let's just say you don't want to look into your family.
No, I don't at all.
My brother's big into looking into the family history. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't care.
You have a name like Fauerbach, you have to have some shit.
Oh, there's something in there.
You got to have a lot of family members. You have to.
The coolest thing that came out of it is he found out that there's a Fauerbach brewery.
Yeah.
And there's a town in Germany that's called Fauerbach, and like the whole town is just
show
like
up and be a dick. Be like,
usually it means
my uncle went, and my dad was like, "You brought nothing back," and he's just like, "Oh, I didn't even think about it."
Yeah.
Uncle Ron.
Yeah, you probably have a lot. You do. You probably have a huge history over there.
I'm sure. I would like to go over to Germany. My brother looked into it. I knew that he looked into it. And I didn't care even when he did.
No, I'm telling you, once you go there, you'll never regret it. It's so awesome. The people. That's another place. People are fucking awesome.
Yeah,
they're super cool. You can walk in and you can be the dumb American who can't speak any German. They're the nicest fucking people.
Yeah.
Nicest fucking, and all they want to do is drink because they know you're American, and they're like, hey, they think all we do is drink, so they just start giving you stuff.
Yeah.
Try Foster's. So it was so great. Like when I went to Oktoberfest, we were there and we met a bunch of guys, and it's amazing when you go in those tents. You're like looking, and there's no fucking room. There's none. Yeah. So you walk in, and the lady's like, how many? And you say, well, we have 4. So they'll walk up to a table and they say, we need room for 4.
Yeah.
Everybody will start sitting on each other's laps, making
not?
Room, and I'm like, if this happened back home, fuck you.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
Just be a viral fight video.
Could you imagine, in Philadelphia, Oktoberfest, Philly? Yeah, man.
Dude, they have
be like Anchorman where they're all fighting in the fucking thing, man. Someone would have a trident.
They have merry-go-rounds that have benches.
That's awesome.
And there's a bar in the middle, and you literally just sit and drink. And you
just
around,
throw.
I need another beer. And
just puke.
Dude, shit and piss bucket.
Just so awesome. It literally is a big carnival.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's a big carnival. But I'm telling you, people were great. We got off the fucking the bus. We're like, we don't know where we're going.
Yeah.
Like, where do we go? And you just follow troops of people, and everybody's super helpful.
I hope so, because I think the fear now is it would be traveling anywhere. And just being like, everyone hates.
They don't though.
Yeah,
but they don't.
They
think people say that, but we really now France might because we don't really like that either. But but no,
Freedom
people
fries,
don't hate
that's
us.
what I call them.
Freedom fries. Yeah.
Lasted 2 days.
It was 2 days.
Yep. But then everyone was like, you know what? I don't really care that they didn't help. I just would rather say French.
Yeah.
But I'm saying is
and then like 2 years later, they're like, it's probably better they didn't help. Like,
they're really not very good at anything. No, but no, they really don't. We are liked. I mean, we're not. Listen, it comes with our attitudes, and rightfully so. We should have, because if you go to foreign countries, I mean, when's the last fucking foreign film you went to the movie theater to see?
It's a good one.
None.
Silent Zebras.
But they go. But like all of the movies and shit come out of here. All the good music comes out of here. We're the main hub, so we should be cocky.
Bro?
Yeah,
I love Rammstein, by the way. But yeah.
I want to get into vampire techno over there.
That's big, man. It's taking off, man.
With like the Blade scenes or like the John Wick fight scenes, or they're always in these like
clubs with no lights.
Blade started
with no lights on.
Promiscuous sex.
I was there with my wife, so you weren't really looking for clubs like that.
You should start one here.
We should.
In Nazareth, we should have like an
underground
vampire. Techno orgy club.
For Halloween, we could do it.
Yeah,
great.
But what'll happen is you would run the whole thing, you would do everything, and somehow my name would end up in the paper, and it would be all about me, like I did it.
Yeah,
you would
wear a disguise.
They would look at you and be like, "Well, clearly he's doing it."
Throw some fangs on, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll dye my mustache purple.
Yeah. Spencer Gifts is still open. We're good.
You did what? You got into barbecue and smoking, and then how did Smokerhead even start? Yeah. I know you guys were doing like the death metal festivals.
Yeah, that was a big part of it. Ultimately it started where we got into smoking just in our backyards. So, growing up around Pennsylvania, barbecue was how we think of like smoked barbecue wasn't a thing. Pork barbecue, you get.
I didn't know about it until I went to Virginia, and then my brother was like, "We went to Buzz
chicken barbecue was chicken, right? And they just put barbecue sauce.
And pork barbecue, you go to IGA or Giant or something, and it was boiled pork and a ton of KC Masterpiece, and that's pork barbecue. Yes. Hamburger barbecue was beef barbecue was just hamburger barbecue. Yeah. So growing up, it wasn't until I don't know the early 2000s where a friend of mine, Matt Benner, graphic designer, was doing a menu for Grumpy's Roadhouse, and we were going skiing, and he's like, dude, this menu looks fucking awesome. We should stop here after. All right, cool, whatever. And we stopped in, and they were doing legit
I think Grumpy's was probably one of the only places I knew about in the area.
It was doing that. Before I was traveling,
I didn't know about Point Phillips.
Yeah. So it was like they smoked their meats, and we had brisket. We got a whole thing. I was like, what the fuck is this, man? This is delicious. Like, this is stupid. This is really, really unbelievably good. Never had it before. And it was just research, and this was before you could Google just how to fucking barbecue.
You actually had to go to a bookstore.
You had to go to Walden Books.
Yeah.
At the South Mall. Yeah. You know what I mean? And figure it out. And so we figured out what it was, and it was just buying a shitty smoker, and me and my friends who were all into it, doing it out back and being like, all right, well, I think you just load it with wood, and you do it wrong for a while, and we found out about competitions, and food competitions to me was always hysterical. Just like the idea of like, we're gonna fucking battle over chicken, and there's 4 categories, and it's ribs, and it's beef, and it's like,
and I always thought it was weird that when they make you plate it, it's like, and I'm sure it's like from a history of it or something, but like when they just obnoxiously have it on like that big piece, is that lettuce?
It is, and it's got to be a certain type of lettuce.
Shit that no one eats.
And if it sticks to it, you can lose a point. Like that. That kind of got dumb with it. Like,
but that's the bitch part of it. It's still fucking ribs.
That's what I mean. Like, judge. My thing with competition always was, and they're fun. Competitions are fun. They're a blast.
I went to a couple that Muma was doing, and we stayed over.
So I started with Chris, and we were working together, and we each kind of got into barbecue around the same time. We're like, dude, we should try one of these, man. Like, bring your smoker, and I'll bring mine. And we loaded up a fucking shitty trailer, loaded with bungee cords and just shit. Like, I think I even brought my gas grill, and we went to like a competition in Lancaster, and I remember rolling in and shit's falling out, and like these people have $1 million RVs.
Yeah, I didn't realize it until I went down to the one Muma did, and there was like a carnival was going on. It was like across from a fire hall. It was only like an hour away, and then these people had like the full-blown like celebrity RVs.
Dude.
Yeah, we slept in the back of Muma's truck.
So sponsored? Like, we rolled in with these shitty-ass low smokers, and we're just like, all right, man, let's do some ribs. And, it was a blast, and we didn't get last, which is unbelievable. Like, we didn't do well, but we didn't get last, and it was a fun experience and shit. But
do you think the people who did get last were, like, quick? Because they were, like, the guys with the low smokers.
Well, I think they just didn't show up, so that's why we didn't actually get last.
Participation trophy.
I assume when I went out there with that time to visit them too, I assumed it was going to be like how like Rio's is here, like the Brazilian, like you literally you smoke it and you come out with a skewer and you walk to the judges and carve off a piece and like here.
Now it is a whole.
And I was upset
time. People are running across the.
So you got to think of it this way. You have, I believe, and it's been a while since I've done it, but you have like a half an hour in between each category that it has to be turned in, which is hard because pulled pork takes 10 hours. Brisket can take anywhere from 12 to 14 hours. Ribs take 5 to 6 hours. So everything needs to be timed correctly.
Cooking with no time limit is fun. Cooking with a time limit is a job.
So, like, my whole thing was like, dude, just judge the food. If it's good, that should be the main thing. It shouldn't matter if lettuce is on it. It shouldn't matter if there's a piece of skin sticking out, stuff like that. And competition was fun for a little bit, but it was expensive. And I was having my first kid, and I was getting paid shit at my first job, so I couldn't spend. Literally, you're spending $1,000 a weekend to just do this. Yeah, ingredients, supplies, meats, traveling out there.
What do you win? Like what?
A ribbon or a trophy, and
that's it.
Which is cool. Like. Some places there are cash. Like you win, you get a check for. If you get first place, you get grand champion. Some of that. A lot of places do.
Was it like $5,000, like $10,000, or what?
On really big places, it could be, and like the bigger ones in the country, it is that. But for the most part, the little ones that we're doing, maybe $1,000, $500 here and there, stuff like that.
So you're losing.
So for me, after like 2, I'm like, dude, I don't want to do that. Like it's fun, it's a blast, but I don't want to. I'd rather do catering where I can cook for people and get feedback and be like, oh, this was really fucking good, or this, hey, why don't you try this? And like that to me was and get paid for the time too. You
sneak into one of those like little restaurant battles or bar battles.
Yeah, exactly. Chili exactly right.
And you're going like, who's this fucking guy? And then you win.
That's exactly right.
And everybody's like, we got to find where this guy.
Yeah, exactly. So that literally, that's kind of what I started to do. Muma stuck to competition, which was it's cool. It wasn't for me. Like I didn't have the money to spend. I remember having like when I had my first kid. And my wife, we were fucking dead broke. Like
my wife,
we were dead broke. Like, and I'm like, I got a competition this week. She's like, dude, like I spent my last $300 on the credit card to get like brisket and stuff. And I'm like, she's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you crazy? Like, we're gonna need diapers and I'm like, I'm gonna win. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna win.
That's because your first child too. It's not real. Like I was there, like for the first day, like my wife stayed in the hospital, and I was like. And then they're like, okay, well, we're going to go to sleep. And I was like, I have to go home?
Yeah.
I'm just going to go home and no one's going to be there? I was like, fuck yeah, I had a kid. I'm gonna go celebrate. And I went out. I was like, the next day, I was like, I have to bring this kid home.
Oh
now.
shit, yeah.
So I gotta have shit done.
I went out. Luckily, that one I won, and I came home with like $500, and I'm like, here it is, hon.
Babe.
And then she's like, but you spent $400 on supplies, so you fucking did this for $100. Yep. Like I was like, okay, yeah, this isn't working too bad, you know. So
just to voice a reason.
I really like getting into the catering side of it, and that Maryland Death Fest was the first time where, you know, there's this big metal festival in Maryland,
sure.
man, and friends of mine have went, and I wanted to go, and it was a great lineup. And I asked my friends, I'm like, you know, what do they do for food there? And they're like, dude, they had like a shitty cheeseburger hot dog stand. It was $12. Yep. Like
they
didn't
just
have
rip you
shit.
off, and that's what you, like,
so
Warp Tour.
I'm like, well, that's interesting. I'm gonna
Ozfest, $9 bottles of water.
Exactly, man. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna contact, you know, the people that put us on, just put it out there, man. And I did. I contacted. I'm like, dude, we do barbecue. I can come down there and rip pork sandwiches and whatever. Would you have us? And they're like, absolutely. Can you do 1,000 people in a weekend? I'm like, yeah. I have no fucking clue whether I could or not, but we did that. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, if we're gonna do this, let's fucking plan this out. Let's go down there. How much do we need? Let's, you know, we're gonna smoke overnight, 4 days. Like, and we went there, and my whole thing was, I don't want to go in there and charge $15. Like, it costs us, you know, $3 a sandwich. Let's charge them $6. Like, I don't want to charge $8 for water. It's $1.
Yeah.
You know, we're spending $5 at Sam's.
Because you can really probably get them for
did you guys do
50 cents a bottle.
When we did bring a treat, and that's that. So we go in there, and we, you know, we're kind of clueless to the whole thing, but I knew, like, fuck it. I know we have good barbecue.
Yep.
Like, period. And we're not going to kill these people. Like, everyone's going to make out just fine. Like,
and they'll love you for that.
My thing was just, let's just break even. If we break even, I'm fucking happy because I get to see bands that I like.
Yep.
On top of it. And we went in there and we fucking killed it. Like, immediately people were like, oh, $6 for legitimately smoked pulled pork sandwiches.
How pissed do you think the people were selling?
I walked past them. I remember walking past the stand, and it's just 3 dudes with a shitty grill, and there's like 2 people standing there, and they have a fire. I just walked past, and I see like $12 for cheeseburger crossed out, $8 crossed out, $5 because they knew no one was going to them. They had
but fuck you for charging $12 for
my whole thing was
probably frozen patties.
It was it was garbage. So we went in there and we cleaned shop and we made friends and people loved us and like, you know, we right away we're like, dude, security that's in there, because this is new to us. We're like, security gets food for free. They're watching this place when we're not here. Like, they're looking at, and the first day, security, free barbecue, dude. All security was by us. Like, anyone, you want this guy standing by you? Like, yeah, he's fine. Like, yeah, it's good. So, like, right off the bat, and then we were invited back the next year. Same type of thing. And they started to get kind of a few more. And at the same time, this festival is getting bigger.
Yeah.
Right? So now, next year was 1,500 people. When we did it for 4 years. And when we left, we did 3,000 people. And we were catering for the bands backstage. The very last year.
Meet a lot of the bands?
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, it's like, you know, a lot of metal bands, which we'd like. So, I mean, you know, these guys aren't like, it's not like Slayer's on there. And it's, you know, but you get these bands, Sleep, Neurosis, and High on Fire, and Bongzilla, and all these guys, Goatsnake, and all these bands that I fucking loved are now legitimately hanging out. Hey, man, the fucking pork's great. Yeah, here's some records. It's just like, dude, this is fucking great, man. Like, this is really, the whole thing was kind of selfish. Like,
this is a fucking dream.
We just wanted a spot that we can sit down, that's closed in, and watch a show. And by the 4th thing, we had backstage passes because we were catering backstage, so we were just, it was fucking awesome. But the festival got smaller. By the 5th year, it now moved indoors.
It's hard to keep that stuff going.
It is. They had 3 stages outdoors, and that's, when you have that, you need to draw people in.
I think they just stopped the Warp Tour.
Yeah, maybe. I think so. I think they did. You know, but that was the first time where I realized, like, dude, we just catered 3,000 people plus 300 for backstage. Like,
do you ever look back on that when you're getting like, because catering sucks? That doesn't suck, but it's like, I mean, cooking for people sucks, like pressure and all that stuff. So like, is there times when you're freaking out just for 50 people and you're like, stop? You're
absolutely.
Like, I did 3,000 people Death Metal Fest.
That literally trained my ass to be like, oh, dude, you have a party of 100? No problem. I'll be there Friday. I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Like, literally, that trained me to be like, because that was just day in and day out. All right.
It's tough to do that.
Oh, it's fucking, it was super tough. to do it, but we did it. And at the end of it, it's like, dude, we accomplished that. Like that's no fucking joke.
No.
Like that is, I never thought we could. I'm up for the challenge. Let's try it. And we did it. And that's how I kept kind of going forward with barbecue from that. Hey, I got a wedding coming up. Can you do 200 people? It's very formal. We want to do prime rib. We want to do appetizers. Okay, well, yeah, I think we can do that. And we do. And then afterwards, we're like, fuck, we just did a wedding and it was great and they fucking loved it and the food was great. So it's just these little steps going and like accomplish it and be like, we can do that. And then you learn from that and you go, okay, this is what we do next time a little bit better. And that's all that this has been, is just progressing forward. And until I get doors that shut, until I get an actual blockade or a wall where you're just like, I fucked up and I can't do this and I can't do that, I'm just going to keep going. And that's ultimately where I got to now, where...
Yeah, and it's interesting where you got to, and I wanted to give a bit of a backstory before we just jump into...
Yeah, it was ayahuasca, really. It was just that one night of ayahuasca.
I'm still going to do that.
I know wants to. I know he does.
Would you do it with us? Or if anyone would go that has any like kids, because there's a massive part of that where you could go over there and not come home.
And that's my whole thing is so... And not to detour a little bit, let's talk about drugs. But so high school, at least where I grew up, acid was huge.
Yep.
And it was cheap and it was huge and it was around and that was kind of
$7,
$5.
I was getting upcharged at the football game.
Well, now you had better quality up here, but I do remember. Ultimately with this ayahuasca stuff and this stuff, hallucinogenics and stuff really intrigues me. I truly I read books. I love it. Like the whole idea of it is great. And I remember. It was right after I graduated high school, so I was fucking 19 or something like that, and these hippies came to town and they had strong acid, and that was a ruin. Some of my friends having a big party, and dude, these hippies, they parked their RV and they got acid. You want to do it? I'm like, yeah, okay.
Isn't it weird that stuff like that would just happen, and then you'd be like, you know what? Like, yeah,
why not?
Yeah,
but and
I would not do that now.
No, fuck no. But that's the time to do that. You have no responsibility. Yeah. Like there is no responsibility. You don't have people that are looking for you to take care of, like that need you for life, and you don't have that. And that was the time to do it. And so I did it one night, wound up at a party, and lost my shit. Like legitimately had to lock myself in a fucking room, put on Floyd, was watching chords coming out of the speakers, and I legit thought I died.
So glad I didn't do drugs.
Yeah. I had a couch full over on top of once. But
the benefit of that is, and it's no joke, and that's the same of ayahuasca. Like the whole thing is the killing of your ego. Apparently, when your brain legitimately thinks it dies and is reborn. Shit like taxes and bullshit like a fee, that stuff just kind of becomes secondary.
Yeah, it's like the first 5 minutes after somebody you really care about dies.
There's
just like that moment where you're like, everything else I'm making up about stress and bills and all that money stuff, and I was just like, what I'm thinking about right now is really the only thing that matters.
Truly, when your brain truly thinks it died and is reborn. Something changes, and I haven't done acid since. I never will, just because of that. But I know because of that, there's a lot of shit that doesn't matter. I don't know, it doesn't matter. It just not that it doesn't matter. Fuck it, but what's the worst that's gonna happen? You got to try. Try new shit.
That's kind of like what ayahuasca does, from what I've been listening to on podcasts and stuff. Is where it's not a fun experience. You basically throw up,
and you shit your pants, and you're in a fucking hot jungle, and there's bugs, and there's weird people you don't know. That to me sounds terrible.
It taps into all of these weird insecurities about your life that are hanging on in the back of your brain that you don't even know are going on, or you act a specific way because something happened to you 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
At an intersection.
Wouldn't you just rather maybe drink and go to a spa weekend and you're getting massage? Nothing else would matter when you left there either.
I guess it's more.
You know what I mean?
What if you took ayahuasca and went to a spa?
I don't think they'll massage you.
But it's not geared for anybody. It's it's geared for people with depression.
Talk about a mud
facial. It's geared more towards people looking for answers.
But it is so what that is supposed to do is bring out your whatever you're suppressing and whatever you're holding on to, your fears and your terrible stuff, and that's why people that have horrible histories of stuff or abuse or whatever like that.
Heroin addicts use it sometimes to get clean.
They do it to bring out the worst so you can confront it and overcome it.
Yeah.
And now you've experienced it and you move past it.
I just shove those demons way down.
Yeah, that's the other thing is just bury it.
They pop their head up, you just flood it with alcohol.
Bury it right the fuck.
What's going to happen is you're going to shit, piss, and throw up all over yourself.
Yeah, yes. Just from Bud Select.
Yeah. But I don't know. I talked to Jer about it, and he's like, "I'm in 100%." And then every year, I'm always just like, "Let's do it."
You try, I thought of because I'm not. I'm past it. I could not be in a jungle and get like a phone call like, "Hey, the pump, the water heater just broke."
Well, that's why I said to him too.
I
was like, if I would do that, yes, my parents or my family would be upset, but I have nothing attached to me. Yeah. I was like, oh, all right. Somebody has to empty the studio out.
Yeah.
Like it's not like who's raising his kids.
Yeah. So the other thing is air conditioning. Like I just don't want to be in a hot jungle.
And I told Jared, if we do it, like I want to go to like Romancing the Stone. Like we're out in the middle of the jungle on a bus, but that's so dangerous.
I'll go with you guys, and I'll be a guide. I'll totally go with you and like
film.
Yeah, I'll like do opium, and that'll be it.
The other thing I want to do is, and then we'll get back to barbecue. Is I want to do peyote in the desert with like a 100% Indian.
Man, with the guy from Poltergeist 2.
Anything. I think you can pay, because I remember Aubrey Marcus was talking about it, where you can pay like an Indian to do peyote with you in the desert. Not with you, but they take you as like a spirit.
Why does it always take place in hot places?
I know. Well, all right, let's 360
Why do you want to do any of this? Just stay at home.
No. I'll go to an ice bar. Get a Russian
I want to do that.
Wife.
Yeah. I want to drink out of like ice glasses and stuff. That'd be it. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm glad that I got to do that shit when I was young.
Yeah, I did it real young.
Yeah. Like, what was the big thing in Nazareth? Like, what was the big thing? Were you guys drinking in the woods? Like, what was?
Drinking. We drank in the woods. Then we were smoking pot. Then we were, and then what else were we doing? Whippets. And then that was right around the time when kids started getting on Ritalin. And you snorting Ritalin.
All right.
I don't think everybody was doing that.
Yeah.
But people were snorting Ritalin.
Yeah.
Nobody that I hang around with snort Ritalin.
The people I were doing that. And then acid. I remember acid did come around, and then that was a big thing. And then there was one incident where the one girl freaked out, and then someone got arrested, and then I think that's kind of when it stopped really coming into town.
Yeah.
I think Coke was big, but I was never one to get into Coke.
Coke was kind of in and out. It was a lot of drinking in the woods and basements.
But no, we drank in the woods a lot, and then when I was probably like 18, 19, that's when I started drinking more, because I was kind of out of the phase of like just doing all that stuff, because I just always got in trouble.
Yeah.
So then I was at the age where it was just like, all right, well, this person's parents don't care if we drink in the basement.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of when it just turned into just drinking all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And they were always the cool parents. And you look back now and you're like, that's awesome, because...
No, my parents were like, if you guys are doing the stupid shit here, you're not leaving.
Yeah.
And then my dad would stay up and cook us food.
Yeah, see, that's cool.
We'd keep an eye on us. We'd go in the pool. My mom would be like, just keep it down. Our neighbors. But my parents were always cool with that stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
Most of because Josh's parents were cool, because they would just be like, stay in the basement.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
But the big thing was like, is if I would go out to smoke a cigarette, that would be like a problem.
Don't leave your butts around, man. Yeah.
So when did you get in close to brick and mortar?
December is so the last year I started to really, so my job previous was like the last 10 years I was doing AV work. A lot of our friends do that, and grip work and driving trucks in for commercial work, and a lot in New York City, a lot of traveling, a shit ton of traveling, a bunch of corporate work, which is really fucking boring and soulless, but pays very well, and you get to travel all over the country, which I at the time I loved traveling, because I got to, this is another part where I got to just eat and experience cities and experience food, and I've always loved fucking food. Not fucking it, but I've always loved eating food.
You gotta try it.
You gotta try it once, man.
Had a piece of brisket on a dumpster of Waterman in the Outer Banks.
Where do those skeeter beaters take off, man? I'm telling you. But I got to travel around, and at some point, I fucking hated traveling. I hated everything, living in a suitcase. And when I started to have a family and started to have kids, more and more I was away. And things would happen at home, a pipe would burst, or a major plumbing thing, or a snowstorm would hit, and I'm in fucking Arizona, and it's like my wife calling like, the part of this roof collapsed, and this and this, and electricals went, and it's just like, oh, cool, I'll call someone and we'll pay a shitload of money for someone else to fix it. And I could also notice as my kids got older, like when I wasn't around and I'd come back, it was just like, I want to be the fuck around. Like I want to be around. I just want to be present. And as good as the money was, and I still like that industry, and you know, it's still, I still do gigs here and there, but I was gone all the time.
Yeah.
And I hated it. I hated that aspect of it. And it got to the point where I just was kind of checked out and was just like...
Well, I know when Jared did it a lot, and we've always been super close, he'd be like, well, I'm going to be gone for like 3 months. And I'd be like, what?
He traveled a lot,
and then I would be like, holy shit. And I'd be like hitting Gina up, hey, when's he coming home?
Yeah.
And then he'd be home for like 3 weeks, but then he's trying to catch up on all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And then when he went away from that, like, it was so awesome because I was like, what do you mean you're going to be home weekends?
Yeah.
I was just like, that's awesome.
Yeah. That played a big role, being gone and wanting to be around. And so for like the last year, I started looking, just checking out like properties and just seeing like what that space would cost. And like,
it's fun doing that.
Yeah, it actually is, man. Like
I walked the place right up the street because I'm still on the fence if I'm ever going to do anything. There's a part of me that like knows that I'll regret it if I never do. But like, I walked the place with my landlord a couple times, and I'm just picturing it in my head and just like, like you're a very creative person, so it's awesome like walking through there because you can picture this is where that's going to be, that's where this is going to be.
It's
like,
really cool.
That's where like kind of the dream starts, and that's where you chase it.
So I started looking at different properties and being like, okay, could I handle that? And what if I did this? And then I looked into like very briefly a food truck, and I was like, nah, I don't want anything to do.
It's because everyone's always like, do a food truck, but then there's so many different laws, there's so many different regulations. Muma did it correctly because I didn't realize until he did the trailer where I was like, this is definitely the way to do this,
dude. But you know, I give credit to anyone doing a food truck. Remember a few years ago when the food trucks were like the hype, like food trucks, they got a mozzarella cheese truck and a flatbread, and you're like, when you really look into it, and I talk to friends that do it and stuff like that, like you're in the elements, you are dependent on your tires, you roll up into a place and anything can go, your fridge dies or something.
Plus you're cooking in the smallest space
the smallest kitchen possible. Like you're literally a carny.
Yes.
Like you're just traveling around and hawking your stuff.
Carny life ain't bad, man.
Like, so there's a anyone that does that is just, in my opinion, doing triple the work that I'm doing. Like that. Yeah. So that always, a brick and mortar always appealed to me more. You're stationary. People come to you.
Especially with where we live. Because I've been watching that chef show on Netflix, and it was based off the movie, and that Roy Choi.
The movie's terrible.
That Roy Choi,
the movie Chef. Yeah. He's banging Scarlett Johansson.
No one would bang.
We're over it. And now he's on to the Sofia Vera.
Yeah, the women were way too hot.
And then all of a sudden, the food, I'm leaving the corporate life to do the food. You motherfucker.
That movie was like loosely based on that because the guy originally told Favreau he didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like he was like, no, I don't want to do this. You're going to screw it up.
Yeah.
But that guy actually left and started a food truck. But if you were out in LA or something like that, where the weather's perfect,
absolutely.
Totally
different.
Yeah, because then you're working every day.
Absolutely. And the only way I would do a food truck...
Neither of those women would fuck Favreau if he was just a cook.
God, what are you... Are you
kidding me? First of all, someone throwing away their career.
Listen, I'm even going to go as far as to say Favreau, like back in like the Maid days when he was like thin.
Yeah.
Still not fucking.
No, absolutely not.
I don't care how good his fucking sandwiches are.
It's exactly right. But yeah, the food truck thing, it never appealed to me. It was always, and we are in the Northeast. The weather,
terrible.
Oh my God!
Now, are they like? Let's say
what do they do in winter?
Let's say you have a legit food truck here.
Sell hot cocoa.
Are they making a lot of money?
It depends, because here's the thing. This is I think what you don't think, because you get a food truck, you're like, dude, I'm gonna pull up in bars and clean up shop. Dude, you first get your permitting. Second, you got to check with the bars.
Permitting is a motherfucker.
Dude, guess what? What are you going to do Tuesday through Thursday?
Yeah.
Probably you're going to be in a corporate park, parked outside a hospital, and waiting for people to come out. Yeah. Right? So there's that other side of it. Like, well, you in order to make a lot of money, you probably got to do that. You know what I mean? So it just never appealed to me. Rolling around in a cart in a small space with the weather and I don't know. I could always picture it. Now that I have a brick and mortar, having it now and having someone else go take our product and go do
and
that.
You
That'd
can
be
pretty
great.
much prepare everything in the brick and mortar.
Absolutely.
And basically, they're just reheating.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Keeping it warm, keeping it temp.
Yeah, that's
exactly right.
That's what that dude did. Is he started doing the Korean barbecue truck, and then it took off, and then he started 2 more food trucks. I think another Korean one, and then one that wasn't what they were doing, and then he opened a restaurant. So from that one truck,
yeah.
But again, this is also L.A.
Sure, exactly. So I give so much credit to people that do food trucks. To me, it just seems like that much extra work.
Scranton has a couple. There was one called What the Fork.
Huh.
That was I've had that because a tattoo convention they would pull up to that. But Scranton at late night they have like a whole area where the food trucks.
See, that's where I think it's cool. I forget where it was. I forget. I don't know if it's Seattle or wherever else where I saw where there's actually a spot that food trucks kind of rent space
and
for.
They try to do that around here where they do like a festival at the Iron Pigs.
Austin, Texas has an outdoor section.
Yeah.
That there's tables everywhere and it looks like an old.
Mausoleum.
No, a mausoleum. It looks like an old car, like garage area.
Yeah.
And it's literally there's like old guitar or cars like up on lifts and all this great. So it's like this industrial kind of look, and it literally they show up every day and circle the whole thing, circle the wagons, and it's just everything.
So I mean, it's cool because you get different options. That's cool, but. To me, I was looking at spots. I wanted people to come to me. I always liked designing a spot that had a vibe to it and that was cool. And that ultimately, was rock and roll based and was like metal based. And it was like, this is our product. This is what we want. This is.
Well, there's your clientele. I don't see like old ladies walking in
but they do, which is funny because I'll have to turn down like Anthrax or something's on and be like, hey, let's put on a little Smokey Robinson for you. Which has happened too because we use Spotify. It's funny because we've been in the restaurant because it's linked to my phone, and I'll go out on a delivery or something, and so I'll come back and like Bill Burr's podcast will be on, and I'll come in the restaurant and it'll go over the speakers and be like, this fucking guy, hey, little Howlin' Wolf.
Yeah, it's different. It's you just have to adjust to that because if you have like death metal on a bunch of old women there, they're gonna be like, we're not coming back.
But it fits, like and that's always what I wanted. I wanted it to be cool. If Motorhead pops on, it's cool. Like that's the vibe that we're going for. Like you're in our house, like let enjoy it. It's different.
Yeah.
I wanted something that was different. Yeah. That wasn't just your typical. We got pictures of smokers up everywhere that you get everywhere. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I was looking for about a year for spots, and I checked out 2 places, and this place popped up, and. Initially, there was a guy that was in there that had a restaurant before who also had like a food truck. I met him out. And he was
because I want to focus on breaking this down because this is so important.
Sure,
how you actually took the leap to do it.
It's crazy. Like so, initially I looked at this place. There's a guy that had a Brazilian barbecue spot there that was so and I met him out. We were doing events and he was doing events, and I met him out there. And he's like, "Hey man, you should come check out this spot. If you need a commissary kitchen, which we were using a commissary kitchen that was far away."
And the other thing about with food trucks too is that sometimes you need that. You need a commissary. You can't just have a food truck and cut up raw fucking chicken.
Absolutely not.
You need a fucking kitchen.
You can't store the
licensed by a restaurant.
You can't store the shit in your home fridge.
Nope.
You can't you need to have some places, and like
if you go to Pittsburgh, that might be different than what it is in Pennsylvania.
Different everywhere,
but in Pennsylvania. You can't. You have to have a commissary kitchen.
Pittsburgh is in Pennsylvania.
I didn't mean
Pittsburgh, Virginia.
How dare you son of a bitch!
So I went in, and I looked at this place, and the place was, it's just he had a fucking shower curtain up over at the one thing that his office was in the restaurant.
So it was super classy.
And it was. I'm looking around, I'm like, what the fuck? But I'm looking at it like, oh no, this is a cool spot. Like I could see like. It reminded me of like an old school like cheesesteak shop or like an old school like burger and shake shop or something like that. And I'm looking
like
through
a
all
greasy
the
spoon.
Yeah, like I'm looking through all of his bullshit. Like no, there's something cool here. And I remember like he had a shower curtain. I'm like,
was it designed or a single color?
Yeah, this place has been like.
No, I meant the shower curtain.
Oh no, I think it was a design
and had fish on it.
But you walk in, and you look right, and there's a shower curtain. I'm like, what's going on there? He's like, that's my office. I'm like, you can get 3 tables there. He's like, yeah, we don't really fill up. I'm like, okay, great. So he brought me in originally just to use it as commissary, and then I'm looking at it, and he's like, things aren't going too well with me here, and like we're not. Do you think your menu? You could have a menu that would sell here? And I'm like. Yeah, I think so. And I started doing research, and I started looking at the area, and I started looking at what's around, and there's fucking 3 pizza places and a Chinese place, and like, I'm looking around, I'm like, dude, there isn't shit for barbecue, let alone good anything.
Yeah.
Like, just nothing. Like, there's not a good cheesesteak. There's places 3 miles that way.
Are you sure you weren't in Nazareth?
Well, I kind of.
We have 17 pizzas.
And a Jay's.
Yeah.
So
if you want to get your hair done, there's 35 places to do it.
We got long hair and pizza eating. That's what we got.
Or if you want to just put up billboards of Jesus Saves, man, that's huge.
Yeah, man. There was like a big.
I almost turned around.
No, there was a big to do with the May. I'm surprised you didn't burst into flames.
Oh my God.
Jesus Saves, and it's directly facing the gas station with people that clearly don't believe that Jesus has.
Oh my Lord!
So every day he's sitting in the gas station, you motherfucker.
Jesus Saves. His receipts for ShopRite. Yeah, like Jesus. But
yeah, they had a big to do about and I remember like the mayor or something was saying like, we'll have this taken down immediately. That was months ago. I feel like they just looked into it and they were like, we can do this, and they don't have the correct laws to stop us.
Sure,
and just did it. Yeah, shout out to people who read books.
All 4 of you left.
Yeah.
So, I went in with this, looking at the place. I'm like, you know what? There is potential here. And honestly, what sold it for me was, one, the Chamonix Creek Brewery, which was close. Because I've been there before and I've had their beers. And this is a small brewery, a bunch of cool younger dudes that built this place. And the beer was good. So here you have a spot that kind of in the middle of nowhere that is delicious. Like, they're making an awesome product, and it's not just bullshit. Like, oh, you have a fucking really cool spot. You have awesome bands playing, and you have good beer. Like, all right, good. And you don't have a kitchen. So that's a good starting point. Like, that's something to play off of. North of Philly. And like I said before, the closest barbecue spot is 9 miles away. So I was like, okay, I really don't have too much competition. And I met the landlord, and the landlord was awesome. He was fed up with the last guy, and the guy
Did he bring up the shower curtain?
I brought it up, and he said, I fucking know. I know, man. Like, put a shower back there if you're going to put it out. Like, why not just go full?
Like, could you imagine if I did shower curtains there and there and to break the room up? Like, why wouldn't you just get a curtain?
That imagine going into a restaurant and being like, I want to eat.
That is your new thing. I want to see the fish with the
Who the hell's creeping behind the shower curtain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I saw the potential, and the landlord was cool, and it was really a low risk type of thing. Like, it was unheard of. Most commercial leases and stuff, you gotta sign for 3 years, and you're locked in. And if whether your business does good or not,
you're fucked.
You're in, and that's it. Like, you can sublet it, and then it's on you to find someone else. But I was cool enough that this guy was like, let's do a year, and let's like try this out, and I like what you're going for here. And he was super helpful, and it came with equipment. You know what I mean? It came with a warmer.
And it's already ducted and everything ready.
It's already in. Like, I just needed to do.
And like, these are the things that I think a lot of people ignore. Like, I worked in kitchens for forever, so like when I walked that spot with him and I talked to him about it, I was like kind of like thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, well, are you building the kitchen out? Yeah. Am I building the kitchen out? Like, there's a lot of times where I think people just look at stuff and they're like, no, we'll just do it, and then it's just like, if you don't pay attention to who's paying, because when I was talking to him, he's planning on putting a restaurant.
Who, your landlord?
The landlord. Okay. He's planning on putting a restaurant in this bottom floor. Like, if you come out and then you look diagonally to, it would be your left.
Yeah.
There's an old furniture store. It's all windows. He's planning on putting a restaurant there.
All right.
So my question to him was like, well, are you going to build my spot as a restaurant to rent out, or am I building a restaurant?
Sure.
I'm putting a kitchen in there, and then when I leave, I'm taking a full kitchen, and I'm nowhere to go with it.
Sure.
So,
or
like,
you're selling it.
So like, those were important questions, but like, if you don't work in the food industry, or and that's a lot of the big problems, is where people jump into shit and they're like, oh, I saw Guy Fieri, I'm making fucking cheeseburgers.
Absolutely.
Everybody loves my paninis.
Yeah, exactly. So I saw these little things. I was like, it has equipment. Equipment
is huge.
It's, I don't know, probably $75,000.
The other thing that nobody looks into is the hoods. The hoods and that Ansel system. That Ansel system is the fucking widowmaker.
Huge.
Because if you don't have that Ansel system hooked up, that could be anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000.
Yeah, permits. And history of the place. And there's a whole bunch of shit. And I did my research. So I looked at everything. I examined everything. I literally was in and out of this place before I even decided, for about a month, just checking shit out, and like, okay, this equipment is legit. I literally just have to, and it's not just that now looking at it, but at the time it was like, okay, I just have to bring my product, and I have to do cleaning up work. I have to, a lot of work cleaning this place, a lot of work painting, a lot of work building. I can do that, and I'm, but the main shit, I don't have to go get $100,000 loan and fucking buy all the shit. And if it fails, I'm fucked. Yeah. It wasn't that. So that was a huge part of it. The risk of doing this.
That takes half the risk away.
If this fails tomorrow, I'm okay. Yep. It's going to suck. It would suck. It would be a pain in the ass.
Worst thing you have to do is give the shower curtain back.
And I would put it up. But you know, the risk was like, okay, I can do this, and give me a year and let's see what happens here.
And that's smart too, is because, and I didn't know you did that, and then I was talking to Jer about it, and then because you kind of just came out of left field where you were like, I'm doing this, and then like the more I would talk to everybody, like Muma and everybody, and the more I would get bits and pieces of the information before I talked to you, I was just like, oh, like this seems like it was a pretty solid setup that he looked into. And then when Jared told me that, like, I was like, well, how's it going? And I'm like, his food looks incredible, and it really looks like it's starting to kind of start building.
Yeah.
And then Jared was like, he's going to do it for a year, and then he's going to contemplate what he's going to do, and then he's going to make his decision there.
That's exactly
which I think a lot of times is people get into that situation and they rely on that, and they're like, this is what I'm doing the rest of my life. And then if it doesn't work out, that's where you just end up being in this, you're constantly breaking even or always in the negative, and then you're just a miserable fucking asshole being rude to customers serving
absolutely correct.
But you are set up because if that brewery's there, I mean,
that brewery's huge.
That's what huge. That's what people are doing. I mean, I went to Dogfish Head.
Yeah.
Dogfish Head has...
They're huge now.
Yeah. They have trucks that show up. They don't have any food there.
That's how... what's it called? Is that Lost...
in Hellertown.
Yeah. They have a guy, or they have different ones that come up.
Sure.
So there's there's a booze place in Allentown. They make their own liquor.
Distillery, yeah. So one of those popped up by us, 1776, I believe. And there's another brewery that just opened up down the street, a mile down Broken Goblet, that team that built a giant concert space.
Yeah.
So these all popped up by the time I'm in there. These all spaces popped up, and they don't have kitchens.
So you're
and that's the big thing with these places like breweries and all that. We're like, fuck it, we don't need it.
Absolutely not.
On their thing, like if you don't have to build out a kitchen and rely on food,
dude, you're saving
that's so much money.
You're saving money. You're saving inspections. You're saving permits. You're saving a ton of stuff.
The place in Allentown, the small little distillery they opened up, but it's awesome. They make like moonshine and stuff. But anyway, but you go there and they have menus on the table.
Sure.
And it's literally a pizza place that's down the street.
Yeah.
And all you do is you go and you say, this is what I want to order. They call it over. They have a kid on staff that just drives a block, gives you pizza.
That's exactly.
They have no hands on anything.
That's exactly what we do. I go there. Here's a stack of menus. Call us anytime. We'll deliver. No problem. And what I'll do also is, if it's slow and Neshaminy Creek's going up 5 o'clock, I'll go over with cornbread or I'll go over with small pork sandwich. Just give them out to the tables and be like, here you go, dude. We're right down the street. Call an order. And then all it takes is one person to call in,
and then
a table sees that. Where'd you get that from? It smells great.
That's what
should just start sending kids over to eat.
We were there, and these people next to us got all this food, and we're like, we want food.
So and what everyone's, I don't know. There's small business. Small business is something, man. Like, and that's starting this. It's all an experiment. It was all. I'm gonna. I went into this with a warm mind frame of, all right, if I'm gonna fucking do this, I'm gonna do this, and it's not a. It wasn't like, it's gonna be cool, and I can hang out, and man, I'll smoke. But see,
that's another thing, and that's what I wanted to point out on this stuff is
the amount
of people that fuck up because they're either scared to step up and put in the work, they're either scared to think that their idea is going to work, or they're just scared. Period. All they keep thinking about is the failure. And if you come in with that mindset, then you just end up hanging around, and you just end up...
Or their ego is driving shit, and that's even
anyone who
more
names
pitiful.
a place...
and has their face on the logo. You're like, I want a cheesesteak. I don't want your face.
I know a bunch of those fucking places.
Dude.
Dog shit.
Yeah, of course.
God,
dog shit. My face is on a t-shirt, and it's my cheese. Dude, it's a fucking cheese. If you make a good cheesesteak, that's what I mean?
But they don't.
And that's
I know what you're talking about, and they don't.
So I will say, when I put my cards in and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking do this and I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a year and we're gonna see how it is. I went full war mode. Like I went like, all right, this is it. It has to fucking succeed. There is no fucking fail. There isn't. If something's failing, I will fix it. I don't care what it is. And the first 2 months were the most nightmarish. Stress, like I have never in my life, not kidding, no matter how broke I was with children and everything, like I have never been more petrified to wake up. And I didn't really even sleep for 2 months.
Yeah.
And because the weight of everything is on you. And I'm going, did I fuck up? Did I make a mistake? Is this going to affect my family? Like, everything is on the line for this. I don't have $1 million. This isn't like a side, like, cool, man. Like, if it I gotta shop, and if it's cool, it's cool. Everything's, I'm in. My cards are in, man. Like so to me, having that pressure, I needed everything that came out food wise to be the best I can make it. And fucking delicious. It has to be. I
wasn't ever worried about your product. I wasn't worried about what you were doing just because I know you.
I was confident.
But like when we went on vacation and who went? Your brother-in-law?
Yeah.
When I try and tell everybody when they're like, "How was vacation?" I was like, and even when you were there last year by yourself, it's like you have an in-house chef.
I love and that to me, I love like you. I love it. I may hate the drive in, but as soon as I'm there and that pit's fired up and I got briskets on and it's 7 a.m. and I get that break to sit down and be like, look around and fucking music's playing, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, fucking, let's do this.
I love making, like, cause now that I'm out of it and I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Like when the guys come down here, we watch the UFC.
Yeah.
So, what I'll do is, like there's one coming up, it's with Daniel Cormier and somebody else. Stipe. And DC loves Popeye's chicken. So I was just like, dude, we're doing fried chicken.
I like Popeye's too.
I'm like, we're going to do fried chicken. I said, what we'll probably do is just get Popeye's chicken. But I was like, we're making all the sides from scratch.
Sure.
We're doing mashed potatoes.
With that gravy?
We're doing mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
We're going to do mashed potatoes and gravy.
Real chopped coleslaw.
So we're going to do coleslaw. We're going to make all that stuff from scratch and just get a ton of chicken. And then, like, I love cooking for all these guys because they appreciate the shit out of it. And they're like, dude, this is so good. And, like, I'm down here, like, gorilla cooking on an air fryer.
Hey, man.
But that's my favorite thing to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to enjoy it. If I hated doing this, the product would suck and it would come through. It would come through one way or another.
I didn't realize that until I really got into cooking, where like everybody's like, your food's so good, and then I realized it's because of the mood I'm in while I'm making, and it literally is.
It's weird because I've been in situations, not at the restaurant but previous, where I've had to rush barbecue, where I'm at home or something, and I've had to rush it, or I've literally been fighting with my wife or fighting with and it turns out shitty.
Yeah.
Not shitty where people would be like, this is gross, but shitty where I'd be like,
not
this
where you're like,
it's weird. It's really weird, man. There's that whole thing of like putting love into it. It's a weird, stupid saying.
And it's 100% true.
But it is, man.
If I make something, and I've done it on my Insta stories, where I bite into it and I start giggling like a 9-year-old, that food is 100% the best shit I've had.
Yeah.
It's so good.
But honestly, starting this was the hardest fucking thing.
What did you have to do as far as an overhaul of, besides taking down the shower curtain?
I wanted to keep it.
You should have like
shower curtain barbecue.
Cut a piece.
I should have put barbecue sauce coming out of a shower that you could just go under.
like Karate Kid's Halloween costume.
So good, those guys. They were innocent.
You need to do that this year for Halloween. So, like, how much of a cleanup was there?
Huge, because the guy that was before me just didn't give a shit.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is if somebody doesn't give a shit and they don't clean their fucking kitchen,
I'm gonna tell you
disgusting.
Now, you can just feel laziness and food do not go fucking hand in hand. And you can tell, you can walk into a place and be like, oh, someone doesn't give a shit.
Yep. You can also tell, and somebody told me whether or not, and it's in the city, it's big to do that.
Yeah.
Is if you go to the bathroom and the bathroom's destroyed, do not eat there because the kitchen's just the same.
Sure, dude. So
pretty much that like executed 90% of the restaurants on South Street.
And I look at things completely differently too. So this place was, and I think he only had it for like a year and a half, 2 years, which and the place looked like it was never fucking clean. It was fucking terrible. So it took us, I had 2.5 weeks to strip the whole place down, repaint it, like kind of redesign it myself, and clean from top to
Was that fun doing the designing? Did you have tables
I like that.
there, or like
it came with tables.
Nice.
We just threw checkered tablecloths down and like that. It came with a ton of shit, and that's the potential that I saw. A little bit of rearranging and shit like that. There's a whole outside area that was left to shit that I'm like, that's a great outside area if you just do something with it. You can get 4 picnic tables out there. It's too damn hot right now, but come fall, it's going to be fucking awesome. So, I just started seeing these little things like, dude, this corner would be great for a pinball. Like, I don't have it yet, but they would be great for a fucking pinball thing. Like, you can get 10 tables here. Like, so cleaning was number one, and that took us almost a week to just clean. I mean, clean. Everything from the ceiling,
the hoods,
everything,
the
everything.
filters over
not like just the lights in the place, like the ceiling, the corners.
It's like the Greasy Strangler was hanging out there.
One of the best movies.
I turned one person on to actually watching it, and I was like, "You got to watch it high." And he goes, "No, you don't.
No, you don't at all, man."
You showed me the preview thing.
Oh
and I was
my!
like, I am not
when they cut to the clip of him in the car wash, they just kept. It's like a quick cut, and he's just.
And then every scene, it felt like that movie was 5 hours long because every scene they left 10 seconds longer than it should have been cut. God. So it just hung there. And I just remember I kept yelling like, "What's going on?"
What a good movie!
Yeah,
what a great movie.
Yeah.
So it was mainly cleaning, and then the last thing was like painting, and so I had there was one employee, Tanya, who's fantastic.
So was she?
She was
shout out to T. Love you, girl.
That's right. She'll love it, man. She's high as shit right now. I know. Listening to Michael Jackson off the wall. I guarantee it right now.
I told Muma or JR too, as I said, the appeal of it is too, and I knew you would do this, is you're making it you.
Yeah,
and
it has to be.
And you on social media where you're like, hey, T's over here to play Michael Jackson, let's do a poll. And I'm like, awesome, now this is Mitch's place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's it's all part of it. It is. You can't deny
or act
what's
like,
happening.
hey, this was on Diners, Drivers, and Dives, and we're just gonna act like this.
And that's you got it. You're on social, like that's our only advertising, social media. So and we want that attitude to go. It is me. It is. Yeah. This is my place, and I'm not. Hey, come in here and try the special of. No, we're dicking around. It's funny. Like it's not. You don't have to be that serious. The food. At the end of the day, if the food is fucking good, all that matters.
Yeah.
All that matters. If you're putting out garbage product. You know what I mean? If you're putting out shit product, you're screwed. If you're a restaurant, if you're a food truck, whatever, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how big your place is. It doesn't matter how cleaned up it doesn't matter what neon signs you have. It doesn't matter how much millions of dollars. If you have the nicest chairs, if your food is average, you're fucked.
Yep.
Well, I can tell you, one of those big chain cheesesteak places came into Allentown, and they cleaned everything up, and the billboard's up, it's lit, they got all the name is shit, there's pictures everywhere.
What place is it?
The cheesesteak place, we won't mention. They came in and they were like, yeah, look at this. And as soon as you walked in, you saw the people that were working there, and they're like, they don't give a fuck. Yeah. They're just guys they hired out, like, super fucking cheap. Yeah. And all of a sudden the food came out, and I was like, yep, it's still shit food. Yeah. And no, I think it was less than a year it was gone. Yeah. And they had millions behind it.
And let me ask you, man, like I don't know. I feel that people knock on our generation, younger generation, stuff like that, but I think it's from growing up with shit food that we
put up with shit food for
dude. I was raised. Remember how fucking big TGI Fridays was in '97? Like TGI Fridays in '97 was dude. Please. TGI Fridays in '97 was the biggest fucking thing around. Like, dude,
your food is such dog shit at this point. It's terrible.
Who the fuck is like Friday night, hun? Applebee's.
Yep.
2 for $20.
Yeah.
I went in there.
Think about pizza.
Actually, I went in there for Valentine's Day. It was not a joke.
Makes sense.
But do you remember? I mean, bear in mind, and I'm not knocking the pizza, because if you're drunk, it's probably the best pizza you can get.
Who's that?
Like Elio's.
Sure.
Tiny squares.
No, I'm not going to knock. What I'm saying is, there should always be an Elio's. There should always be.
What I'm saying is that was like dinner. Like, hey, we're having pizza.
Sure.
And I was like, hey, we're going to go have this. Like,
I ate McDonald's twice a week.
Sure.
Like growing up, like that was like it was just part of your fucking diet.
The best place when we went to upstate New York. What town is it that Kodak is in? I forget what town that is. Anyway, it's the whole town is fucking Kodak.
Goss.
But there's a guy. No, there's a guy there that has this old place, and it was brought up in one of those diners, dives, and whatever. Yeah. And it's legitimately, it was right next to all of the. Triple D.
Shout out to Triple D.
Yeah, how awesome is it that he's totally engulfed in the fact that he's a joke, and that now he's not a joke, but like all the memes and shit, he's now posting memes of himself.
Dude, I think he's going to come full circle. I think he's going to come around and be accepted and fully be like, dude, this dude was cool.
He is. A lot of the chefs are like, yo, he makes real food.
Because I voted for him when they first did that show. It was before like there wasn't really like voting for TV shows, and I was just like, well, whatever. I'm like, everyone else fucking sucks, and it's just acting like oh well, this and that, and this guy's just like, let's have some tequila. And I was just like, hey, Sammy Hagar.
You know, like, you got, there's something there, like, you could tell he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's cheesy as you know, his show and all of his, it was cheesy as fuck.
But he's legit.
You could tell, like,
he's legit
if he was here now, he'd probably be good, like,
a fucking
probably hanging out, man.
Party.
Yeah.
You know, and he'd probably, like, off thing, he'd be like, fucking, let's do this coke and fucking party.
Dude, he has a Lambo, and it got stolen by a ninja.
Yeah, he did.
Did you hear that story?
No, but it makes perfect sense.
Isn't it bright yellow?
Yeah, he was on Opie and Anthony, and they had camera footage of this guy in a ninja outfit, broke into where his Lambo was getting fixed, rappelled down on a grappling hook, got in his car, and the last footage of it is going over the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
The best was there was a review when he opened his restaurant in New York. Did you see?
He got smashed.
Someone, whether he was a comedian or not, gave a review of his fucking menu, and it was incredible. Like, it's a piece of art. Like, this writing that this guy did was so fantastic.
He got shit. I think most of his restaurants are out of there. He is, and we should take a road trip. He is in what's the casino up here?
Poconos?
The Poconos ones. Mount Airy Lodge. Beautiful Mount Airy Lodge. Yeah. That's where he's at.
But no, but I was saying though, there's this place, and it's legit. Like, it was right next to the railroad tracks, right next to where all the industrial places were, called the Garbage Plate.
Yeah.
You go in, it was the Garbage Plate.
Yeah.
It was like $7. They give you all the stuff.
Okay.
And when I told my wife about it, I was like, "We're gonna get it." She's like, "You're gonna get something that's called a Garbage Plate."
Yeah.
But it was
I've
just
heard of it.
Good fucking food.
Isn't it in like a caboose or something? It's a breakfast joint or something.
Oh no, it's like a small little shop.
Yeah,
but
okay.
It's the food is good.
Yeah.
And he literally just piles everything on top and just goes, "Here you go." But that was back then. Like, that was the place. That's where you went.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't have places like that here.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just shit.
Yeah.
It was just shitty excuses for stuff.
That's all it was. And growing up on that, like, that's why I think in my opinion nowadays, you gotta have fucking good food. I don't care where you, like, if I go to a bar and the food sucks, chances are I'm not fucking coming back. Like, and it doesn't have to be fucking fancy. It just has to be good.
Yeah.
You can make good chicken fingers.
When I lived in Virginia, the UFC wasn't as big as it is now, and there was only a couple places that would actually show it. Yeah. So I used to have to drive by myself, and I'd go over to this restaurant inside of a mall.
Yeah.
And it was like a TGI Fridays type thing, but it was like, but they were like Southern, but it was just like stupid shit like that. I literally went through the entire menu, and everything fucking sucked.
See?
And then after I went through the whole menu, I was like, I guess I'll just try and find another place. Then I found another place that was closer, that was like on the strip, and like younger kids were there, and all the food sucked there. Buffalo Wild Wings. I have the fights here now, and I cook, and like sometimes it gets expensive by the time we're done buying the food. Everyone chips in, but it's still expensive. And I don't mind going to Buffalo Wild Wings. We've done it a couple times, but their food is terrible.
Of course, and he's giving terrible. We're sitting there, and he'll snack. Yeah. He'll go and get a little bit of this, a little bit, and he gives him a shot. Yeah, but it's not good.
Yeah, so there's one by us too, and you give it a shot every now and again. It's like, I just want.
Who wants to stare at yellow?
Oh my
get out of here!
But their whole thing is, throw an iPad in front of a kid and you'll get the family in there.
Ugh.
But it doesn't take a lot to make good food. It doesn't take a lot of energy. It does not. Because it takes this much effort to make things better than TJ.
Because people want to get the cheapest stuff,
of course,
and have it done the fastest.
Sure,
that's what people want.
Sure,
cheap, fast.
Sure,
out the door.
Yeah, exactly right.
And that's
so I know what I look for when I go to places, and that is what I always wanted to present to people. Always. And the way we do our barbecue is old school fucking barbecue. It is not. You see all these there's barbecue places everywhere, right? There's Mission Barbecue, and there's all these chains and fucking
Dickies,
and their whole thing free pickles and ice cream. Yeah. Well, no shit, because everything sucks. The least you can do is give me a cone.
I had Buzz
down south, and it was fucking horrible.
Dude, I had Buzz and Ned's in Virginia, and that was really good.
Like, all the research that I've done is always like, why do these old school places down south in Texas and all, why do they survive? How have they survived?
That's the one where they're like serving white bread with it.
But how have these old school pits and stuff survived? Because it's a dude feeding wood into a pit with large bits of meat all day.
Yeah,
that's it. And doing it for 13 hours.
Did you design your menu before you started getting in? Well, I mean, how did you come about getting your menu together?
So, for the most part, I knew I wanted to do basic barbecue, and I wanted to do it traditional barbecue, old school barbecue, and I also didn't want to just stick to.
Is everything you brought up here on the menu?
Oh yeah. Portions.
It was real good. And like I said to Jesse, as I go, his stuff's different than Muma. It's different than Mad J's. I mean, well, Mad J's and Muma's are totally different.
Sure.
But I like that everything's different.
As it should be.
Like your burnt ends are totally different than Mad J's.
As it should be. And the way I always wanted.
They're both delicious.
Sure. The way I always wanted to present my barbecue was not covered in sauce and not covered up. We smoke our meats for 12, 13 hours for brisket. Taste it. Taste the smoke. It's minimal seasoning. Our brisket rub is salt, pepper, garlic, onion, paprika, and coffee. That's it. Like, that's all we put on it. We smoke it for 12, 13 hours.
Yep.
It's done. We slice it. That's it. If you want to cover it with sauce, do that. Please do that. But I want you to taste the product for the old school traditional way. And from me traveling around the country from my other job, I get to taste.
It's different.
St. Louis ribs. I got to taste Carolina pork. I got to taste. Although I didn't get to spend too much time in Texas, but Texas brisket. You know what I mean? And I didn't want just one style. I wanted what I liked.
I don't like. I like saucy stuff.
Yeah.
I like because then you can adjust how much you have.
But
when people dry rub,
I thought you were going to say like a good dirty magazine.
Good dirty. I like to pick what I want.
I like a good sauce. That's saucy.
But like the ones like some of the places that do dry rubs, like they're putting a lot of shit on there.
Yeah.
So the question is, what does your meat actually taste like?
Sure, exactly right.
I'm only tasting what you put on.
Yeah, exactly right.
They're covering up that they bought cheap or on sale meat.
That's the thing. Yeah. Or you go somewhere and their pork is just slathered in barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, well, you're covering up something.
I don't like that. I mean, I definitely enjoy having a good sauce with my pork or whatever and dunking it, but
I like sauces, but if your base product isn't good and you need sauce,
then
where are you starting from?
When I started to really start looking at restaurants differently is because Jared travels a lot, and then he's not a food snob, but he knows good food from traveling.
Sure.
We started looking for good burgers, and then me and him would just start going out all the time looking for a good burger. And then that's when I started realizing that if you, like Two Rivers, if you get their burger, you don't have to salt it, you don't have to pepper it, you're not putting ketchup on it, you're not putting anything on it.
You're welcome to.
You're welcome to, but if you eat it the way that they have it on the menu, fantastic.
Exactly right.
Fantastic.
And that's what I wanted to present. This is our food.
Yep.
I hope it's great to begin with. If you want to sauce it up, go sauce it up. Get nuts. But if your base product, and from our basic barbecue menu, ribs, chicken, brisket, pulled pork, we do hand rolled cheese steak egg rolls, and we do handmade burgers. What
do you use for your cheesesteak?
Cheesesteak meat and onions, just a typical, and then we roll them in house, and they're delicious. We do a smoked tomato aioli with it. We do a spicy kitchen. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like aioli.
How many deep fryers did your place come with?
I love it.
One. A two basket one, and that's all we need.
Do you guys do fries or like what all you
fresh cut? And that was a thing. Man. And when I was looking at fries, when I was cleaning the place out, I found in the back an old school fry slicer thing, and I was like, oh fuck, well, we're gonna mount this on the wall. I guess we're doing fresh cut fries, and that's what I always. Fresh cut fries are delicious.
They're the best.
Twice fried. Peel them, let them soak.
Do you soak them in just water? Do you add
a little bit of vinegar?
Yeah, see, I used to try. A couple people I worked with, I told them that, and I'm like, you get more of a crunch out of it.
A little bit of vinegar.
Like, whatever it is.
And you let them dry.
Why is that, you think? You think it attaches the starchiness on the outside?
I don't know. Soaking it in water brings out a lot of the starchiness, which makes it crisp.
But vinegar would do that. Vinegar would attack it.
We only do a drop. So you don't get any flavor of vinegar in there at all. I don't know what it does, but it's delicious. So we'll fry them off and then hold them for the day and then fry them to order. And they're fucking delicious. Crispy, potatoey. They're better than any frozen brand you're gonna get. What I hated was when you started going to a place and you get beer battered French fries, and you're like, why are you fucking?
That was popular.
Fried potato.
Do you know how many restaurants all the fries taste exactly the same?
Oh, I hate it.
And that's what I don't like is when you go to these restaurants and people go, oh my god,
that's why I love Arby's.
He goes, I love
Curly's.
They're like, I love this restaurant. It's so good. And then you pull up and there's just a Cisco truck outside, and you'll go,
it's exactly right.
You get the same shit.
It's exactly
as
right.
the pizza place down the street.
That's right.
You get the same place as the guy over there. It's the same shit.
It doesn't take a lot. It does not. All it takes is for you to give a shit.
There's a new place that opened by my parents, and I was super excited by it. And
no, you know why I love
their
it?
Entire thing is it's all high-end Cisco food. Nothing is made homemade.
It's not. But the reason I like it there is because they actually use real chicken. It's not shitty chicken.
No, but I think they're just buying like Cisco.
They are.
I know, but I'm saying it's like
they're not doing anything.
He was saying is with that much more effort, you could be making your own mac and cheese.
And for the most part,
they can in that place.
Yeah,
there's no fucking room. There's no fucking.
You can. I've done stuff in a small farmhouse on the side of 191.
You can definitely put a little bit of effort into, and you can use Cisco products, adding it to your products.
Sure.
Like we'll make burgers with poppers on it or something like that, and that's like.
But you add it yourself, like I said, and you're talking about seasoning too, and that's why I love there's a Brazilian place down here.
Yeah,
Rios.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
I got drunk there and stole a candle, and I was leaving. And they were like, "Hey, Mike, put the candle back," and I was like,
"Sorry, I'll see you Thursday."
Well, what it is I had this girl who used to come in and drop off art, and when she would come into town, I'd be like, "You know what?
I'm going to Rios."
Well, that's what I would do. She'd be like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I was like, "I'm going to take you out on the town." And she's like, "Okay." So I took her to Rios, then the bowling alley, and then to the social club,
and then stole a candle.
yeah.
But no, that place it's
Candle
good.
Bandits.
But by the end of the night, everything tastes the same.
Yeah,
because it's the seasoning they put on it.
So it doesn't take a lot, and I think that those places, and it doesn't matter what. Like, we talk about food and we talk about that, but anything you're doing, and you talk to a lot of people that do small businesses here, and you talk to any product that you're doing, if you put the effort into it to just make it different and the best you can do it, and fucking grade A, the guy that was doing your tables here and stuff like that, like, he could do a straight table and probably make it very rectangular and stuff, but he's doing something different, and it's cool and it's unique, and that to me is what will last. And that to me, no matter how long your business lasts, a year, 5 years, 10 years, hopefully as long as possible. But that's the shit. If you have one of these tables for years, someone's going to be like, where the fuck did you get this?
Everyone always asks when they come in.
And that's how I think of it. Whether it's food or whatever else, you want to do something different.
How did you build your menu from the beginning? Did you build it around speed or like your timing on
I built it around
in and out?
I built it around I can only fit so much meat on my smoker. We're going to sell out. We're going to run out of certain things, and that's okay. I want that because I don't.
It's not a bad thing if you go into a barbecue joint and they're like, "Hey, we're sold out of the pulled pork."
No, and what's funny is we can get into that because fucking reviews in 2019 are that's the one thing I wasn't truly prepared. We're lucky that we've been lucky that we have a really good Google rating and people really seem to enjoy what we're doing. But you'll get we have a 1 star because we sold out of ribs on a Friday. 1 star. 1 star means pretty much that whatever you're offering is inedible.
You saw someone murdered there.
So this is a very funny story. This is where I realized I'm never gonna fucking comment on comments or reviews, nothing, because it's pointless. It's pointless. If someone's having a bad day, or if someone is, and there are people that are out together, and there's people that don't like change, and there's people that don't like something weird or something different. I was
telling you guys before the show started where that guy commented on. All I did was post the simple radio logo T-shirt, and I'm like, I'm just trying to get the brand to where it's like. The radio and the clothing are together now, man. I figured it out. Here's my new logo. Here's the T-shirts and tank tops. It's hot out. Here, let's sell 30 T-shirts, guys. And some guy puts, "Hey, man, do you know that Never Again is directly connected to the Holocaust and Jewish people?" And I just go, what?
Think of that statement. Someone right now is saying that what you created here in your business is directed to the fucking Holocaust. One of the worst.
The death of Jews.
That's a great career move. I'm going to start a company, and I'm going to.
And I said to Matt, I go. I normally wouldn't have said anything, but I've been in bad moods lately, and I go.
And you hang around me.
And I go. So I texted him. I hit him back, and I replied to it, and I just go, "Hey, man, sure, that may be directly connected to it." I go. But what I'm doing was from a moment in my life, and it has nothing to do with what you're talking about.
Yeah. The Holocaust.
It has nothing to do with the Holocaust. I go, so thanks for turning a positive into a negative.
Now, was this a public comment?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then when I looked, he had 22,000 followers, and there was people that were semi-famous that follow him, and I was just like, what? So then he commented back, and he goes, I'm just saying, Google it. This is what it is. And then I'm thinking to myself, if I Google Never Again, because I have, my website comes up, not the Holocaust. Never Again clothing comes up. I've been doing this for 11 years, hashtagging the shit out of it. If you type in Never Again, my clothing company comes up. or school shootings.
Yeah.
So then he responded again, and then then I went on his page and I saw his artwork, and it's cool.
Yeah.
And I messaged him and I said, hey man, I'm not trying to argue with you. I get what you're saying, but this is a personal time in my life, and this is what this is about.
Yeah.
I said, I'm slinging t-shirts and doing podcasts with a friend.
Yeah.
That's all this is. It has nothing to do with it.
But that's the mentality. So
but that's what I mean. Why wouldn't you send a personal message?
He wouldn't let it go. So then he says to me, he goes, I'm not mad, I'm not angry, I'm not trying to argue. I'm just letting you know that never again is connected to Jewish stuff. And I go,
cool,
I go, okay.
Yeah.
I go, it's also connected to school shootings. And he goes, yeah, it's connected to a lot of horrible stuff. It's almost like saying never forget for 9/11. And I just go, hey man, the last thing I said to him, I go, everyone has their own opinion on what I said something like, everyone has a reason for everything. Like your art, thanks. And then just stop talking.
But your first mistake was engaging. So we got very funny story. Our first week open, man. Okay, our very first week that we opened these doors, man, and everything's on there. Okay, how are people going to think? And we were slammed. It was great because people want to check out what the fuck's happening in this new spot, right? Reviews are coming in. Portions are too small. Ribs are great. Okay, cool. We're tweaking. We're still tweaking. Yeah, obviously, we're still tweaking 8 months later. Like, you're always tweaking. You should be. And 1 week in, publicly, we get a comment. Hey, just public. This is on Facebook. Hey, just want to let you know. My office ordered, a bunch of food from you, and I had the sausage platter, and the sausage was raw. And I'm like, all right, I got it. I was just like, hey, thank you so much for leaving a review. I just want to let you know the process is sausage. We get sausage in raw. I smoke it for 2.5 hours. I can guarantee you, I personally overlook every sausage. I temp it. I can guarantee you it's cooked to order. And on top of that, we bring the now smoked sausage in, and we put it on the grill before each order to make sure it's hot. And I can guarantee you it's not raw. What you're probably seeing is a pink ring. That's smoke penetrating the meat. Yeah. Very common.
When we used to get sandwiches at Horns in Bethlehem before it closed down.
Yeah.
And he was really one of the first people in Bethlehem doing that. If he wouldn't have thrown someone down his flight of stairs, he'd probably still have his business. Anyways,
can't win them all.
Don't throw someone down a flight of steps.
He might have just jacked him up. I don't know. So when you would cut into the breakfast sandwich, the inside of the sausage was pink.
Sure.
And he would come over and he'd say, look, before anything, I'm just letting you know that's how it's supposed to look. Sure. It's smoked. Sure. That's this style of meat.
Sure. So I assumed in 2019, people know that.
They don't know that.
They should.
They don't. So this is our process. I want to let you know I apologize. Just want to clear up. It wasn't raw. It was pink. No worries. You have nothing to worry about. Mm-hmm. By all means, come back in and we'll hook you up.
You didn't die. You didn't go to the hospital.
Well, I just want to let you know it was raw because I talked to an employee friend of mine who said it looked raw, and I have a baby in my stomach, unborn. And,
oh my God!
And if this is raw and there's issues, we're gonna have. This is a week after opening my very first restaurant
they want
business.
To scare. Yeah.
So I'm literally being like, some lady just accused me of killing her unborn child.
Yeah.
Yep.
1 week after fucking opening over something that's incorrect. And I'm just, I wanted to be like, listen, but I couldn't. I can't. Yeah. Like, my brain, and that's where I realized, like, I can never comment again. So I just responded with, bummer. Come in for a free dessert. because there's no win. There is nothing I could say. There's nothing I could say.
Did she respond to the free dessert or take you up on it?
Not yet.
No, when I had my business and I had a bail bond business and we were open for a couple months and I got a review on fucking Google from some lady
for
saying
a shady bail bond.
I took a call from this guy James. And he was rude and very racist and all this stuff. And it was on Google. And I was like, what the fuck? So I emailed her back and I go, hi. I said, I'm sorry, but you might be mistaken. It's me. Yeah. I'm the only person here. Yeah. And my name isn't James.
Sure.
And I'm not racist.
Sure.
And she goes, and I was like, so I went to Google and said, like, this could be one of my competitors, like, really screwing with me.
Yeah, of course. And that's always in the back of your mind.
Google reviewed and said, there's no proof that this was the... So now it's on my fucking review forever. And I email, and this fucking girl goes back. She's like, no, I think you're mistaken. And I said... So I'm like, you know what? The only way you can win is just, you know what, lady... Please stop doing drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
And contribute something.
It's absolutely right. Like,
fuck off.
What a lesson, man. And you're just
but I actually won one time with Google. Another company was there, and this guy was using 3 fake accounts. He had the same name.
Oh, Christ.
He bashed every single bail.
We should start doing that.
Every
just
single
on Waterman's only.
Every single bail company
went downhill.
3 fake accounts arguing with each other on the things. How funny would that be?
We used to do that on morningcall.com.
I got thrown off.
I got friends that got fucked up all those.
We used to always do that. And we used to hype our band at the time. Like, we would get into, when, what's his name, the principal that got busted for selling meth in the middle school, Nitchman Middle School, whatever. Like we made a song, but we had a shady band, and we would go on these message boards and be like, he's being reinstated. and people were fired up. Like, you could tell those old people,
dude,
like,
I got
we're like, there was a secret school board meeting, and we're putting him back in, because he was a good
And then
guy.
there's people that read that shit all day long, and that's all they do. Dude, when I got thrown off of Lehigh Valley Live, I knew it was because I started making comments about my ex-wife. And then I was like somebody said,
you had a good bit going, dude, though. It was good.
I want to start doing it, but single camera shot straight with this, putting behind it, and then trash them that way.
That's how we got caught. I would always tag on MySpace, our band link on MySpace, and finally someone was like, hey, these guys are a bunch of jerks that have a band that, is...
I made a comment about, I said something about the lady where I was like, well, this is just as bad as my big fat ex-wife. And then some like middle-aged woman was just like, well, you shouldn't talk about women that way. And I was like, well, then you should marry my ex-wife. Like, just keeping the joke going. And then I remember, and then as soon as I made a couple of ex-wife comments, then the women just leached onto that, and then that's what turned me in. Dude, I was making the like borderline racist stuff.
Sure. Yeah, totally I remember it was great.
Dude, people would just comment me, and then when I finally got thrown off, they're like, "I can't believe you went this long."
No, it's because they don't care.
They were liking my jokes.
Yeah.
Dude,
they're like a jolt joke.
Google,
and guys like, jolt.
Google didn't fucking like. I complained and I said, hey, this is a competitor trying to whatever, and it came back. No, we couldn't find any evidence. So I sent another message back to Google and said, you have got to be the dumbest fucking people alive. So I screenshot every other company that the same guy, 3 different names.
Said the same thing.
Slightly different shit, but it was the same 3 guys going to every other company. And I go, magically it doesn't go in this company. I said, you've got to be the dumbest fucking people ever. Yeah. And after like a year, they finally took it off.
Yeah.
But they're assholes.
Yeah, they are.
You can't lose. And Yelp is...
But it is necessary. The reviews are necessary for the most part. Like,
and there are people who look over that shit.
Yeah, but you know that Yelp, which is I hate those motherfuckers. But Yelp, you can actually go and they'll hit you up and say like, hey, would you like to do some sponsorship on my thing? It's like, so if I pay you,
dude, Yelp calls me once a week. Dude, once a week they call.
And people
your Yelp account. I'm like, I don't give a shit what my Yelp account is because it's not in my control.
It means nothing.
It's if people like our stuff, they post it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. Like,
I hate those.
The best I can do is learn about it. But I got mine because before I even had this restaurant, I think I left a review on a place near me, a breakfast place that was serving the thinnest, shittiest bacon. This is like, the cheap
it's probably stuff
bacon
from Sam's Club. It's already cooked.
It's the cheapest shit, and it pissed. I'm just like,
dude, if you go $2 more, if you go cheap on bacon, don't fucking sell food
for breakfast.
Don't go fucking sell food.
If you're doing paper thin, where you pick it up and it just crumbles, what are you doing?
Yep. Where you can't get it, and then like the worst part is like you go cheap on it, and then the person that you're paying to cook it has to do it twice as long because it just sticks to the fucking. What do you guys use for your bacon? Because you brought some.
We do it in house.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So we try to do as much like anything like our ham, our bacon. We smoke. We brine. We do it in house.
What is your menu?
So our menu is our basic barbecue stuff that we want to do. Traditional pulled pork, Carolina style. And that's
what's the difference for Carolina style?
Well, to me, I like vinegary and salty.
I do.
Like that. That's to me. And we do 10 hours of pulled Boston butts. We keep the fat on it, and we smoke it till it's nice and has a good bark on it, and we shred the shit out of it, and then that just gets apple cider vinegar and apple juice. That's it.
Yep.
That's all you need.
That's all you got to do.
We use, in our pork rub, mainly brown sugar, brown sugar, salt, heavy coarse pepper, garlic, onion, paprika, and lemon pepper. That's it. And you cover it. We do a mustard glaze on it. We cover it. Goes on the smoker for 10 hours. When it comes off, the thing's falling apart. We shred it, and there it is. And it goes great with the Carolina vinegar, the mustard sauce that we have.
Yeah, that shit was good.
Yeah. So we do our own barbecue sauces in-house as well. We just did a spicy barbecue where we smoked the tomatoes. All this stuff. I have the smoker going, so I want to utilize it. Bacon.
Fill it up, man.
Dude.
Fill it up.
Bacon is not hard. Brine your own bacon. Throw it on the smoker. Double smoke it. Heavy pepper. We do a molasses brown sugar bacon, thick cut. When we do BLTs,
it's good, dude.
It is night and day from what you get.
What do you do for your breads? Because you're in Philly, so you got that.
So we get Amorosa rolls.
Yeah.
We do brioche for our sandwiches because
brioche.
They're delicious.
Best for breakfast sandwiches.
We butter them. We grill them. Yep. Every roll is butter and grilled because it's delicious. And that's like our pulled pork. Our Carolina pulled pork is butter grilled brioche, pulled pork on it, and coleslaw. You can get it without coleslaw if you don't want it. Our brisket sandwich is our
So
chop.
then you do brisket? So you do the pulled pork, then you do brisket?
We do brisket sandwich, which is chopped brisket. Usually we try to use the burn ends.
Is that the Philly smoke?
The Philly smoke's great, man.
Yeah.
So a lot of these, and that's what I want to do. I wanted to get our barbecue down. If you want just ribs, come try them out. If you want just brisket, you're going to get good barbecue. But my whole thing was if you have a good product, let's make sandwiches from it. Let's make specials.
Yeah.
If you're starting with a good product, anything you make has to be a win.
Yeah.
Like, really. So our Philly smoke is, our version of a cheesesteak. Chopped brisket. We do a homemade cheese sauce.
What's funny is I had ribs from Mad Jay's. I was just down there talking to him, and he was just like, "Yo, you want ribs? I got extra ribs," and I took them. And then I was thinking about your sandwiches, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna pull all the shit off, like all the rib meat off," and then I made a BLT with fucking ribs.
That's what I mean.
It's
like
fantastic.
you can do leftover barbecue's fantastic. You make sandwiches with that. We do a Cuban B, which is our Cuban sandwich, flatbread, our home smoked ham, pickles, mustard, our pulled pork, our Carolina pulled pork on there. It's delicious. You know what I mean?
And that's a staple on the menu?
Absolutely. Yeah. And what we do is we test it out. We put a sandwich up there. Right now we have the Smoky Balboa, which is a long roll, provolone cheese.
It I can't go there because I stay out of Philadelphia.
That's all right.
Stop it. We'll go down.
We'll
go down to Matt.
That's right. Oh, yeah. We got to do a shady commercial. That's the next thing.
Come out on the other
so that's a long roll, provolone cheese, pepperoni, our pulled pork. And
what do you guys do for your cheeses? Just through a purveyor? Or do you guys get them?
Yeah, so we'll get, provolone cheese. We'll do American cheese and stuff like that. But
you get them from a vendor? Or do you guys
get most of our meats as well from Cisco.
Yeah.
Just because
Cisco, dude, I did a tour there when I was helping Chico with Cherry
They have a ton of options. Like our beef comes in from Iowa. Like you get to pick.
Yes.
And you get to sample and you get to go, this is good.
It's definitely the high end of vending.
It is.
Yeah.
And the fact that
what was the other one? U.S. Foods was
U.S. Foods.
Yeah, they stink.
Yeah, and
just good.
Cisco's good. Like, and it's great.
Yeah,
I hate. There's nothing I hate. There's nothing I hate more than going to the fucking restaurant.
It's if they do everything. If you do everything from Cisco, it's like, dude, you could take stuff from Cisco and make it your own.
That's what it is.
But don't just serve Cisco.
Exactly right. And we do so all of you get your basic barbecue stuff. Hopefully it's badass and the best that you've had, and then we do just specials with it. And if the specials stick, they go in the menu.
Yeah.
And my whole thing was just keep making the menu
do burgers?
change. Oh yeah. And we get ground beef in 80-20.
When I come down and we do stuff,
the motor breath burger, and then that's the same.
We got to do a greasy strangler.
Oh fuck! Oh, that's
just a greasy
fantastic
burger,
one, dude. The greasy strangler's a great. It's got to be a double. It's got to be a double. Greasy strangler would be a great burger. That's definite. Yeah. We've been doing a motor breath, and that's going on the menu. So that's homemade bacon jam on a buttered brioche.
Terrific.
It's great. Our fresh patty.
That's the thing. How hard is it
Swiss
to make bacon jam?
Crispy onions. No, it's not hard at all.
So why wouldn't you make bacon jam?
We already are doing bacon in house. This is what I'm saying. It doesn't take a lot. It just takes a little bit of effort.
And like you said, you're getting the
and you need to give a shit.
You're getting the smoker going. Load it the fuck up.
Load it up.
Everything.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Bacon, we can do that. It's not a problem. Ham, put it on there. Get some extra smoke on it. Like, we can do butter. Like, that. I was talking to you guys about the desserts. Desserts are a huge thing, man.
Over.
Oh, we should do that during, man. I'm telling you, we should do that, man. Yeah. The what do we have now? Sweet corn cheesecake.
You want to do it now?
Yeah, let's try it, man. They're good. I'm going to go get it. You guys talk amongst yourself.
What's our topic?
Have you ever had smoked butter? I didn't even think of doing smoked butter.
It was great. The s'mores are great. I heard about it. I don't remember if I did or not.
You know what I heard?
I know people have done it.
I've been watching a lot of burger stuff, and there was a place that they went and they froze butter, and then they stuffed the frozen butter inside the burger and used that as the fat.
I watched the video from Gordon Ramsay did his
scrambled eggs.
His 10 millionth subscriber or something. So he had the guy from Hot Ones, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm going to make you a real burger." So he takes 80% beef, 20% brisket. And then when he's mixing it all in, he goes, all you put in there is salt and pepper, and he takes fucking butter and chops it up into cubes and works it into the patties. And he goes, and that's it. He goes, you don't need all this other shit. And he makes his burger, and he comes out, and then when he was done, he was like,
I never heard of putting.
He goes, I'm gonna fry an egg right on top of the burger. And I was like, oh, okay. So then he took an egg and really put on top of the burger and had the whole thing. But yeah, that was his show. He did a whole thing.
Put it by your knives.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever had butter in a burger, Mitch?
No. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, actually,
I made one. I made one with
steak.
Well,
delicious.
That's the trick how they make steak really well, like how they make it really good. But he literally took a stick of butter, cubed it up, and worked it into the meat.
Yeah, butter on steak.
When you cook it on the grill, it was perfect.
Butter as a finisher on steak is great. So this is a sweet corn cheesecake with blueberry compote, right? Chef Rachel does these desserts for us, and they're fantastic.
That's insane.
Oh.
People listening are like, this is fucking gross.
And we're on camera.
People watching get to see my good china.
This is good.
So the sweet corn, you can kind of it's just mild in there. Yeah, it's delicious.
I never liked cheesecake until I started getting it whipped like this, where it's soft and smooth. And then the blueberries, where's she getting these from?
Delicious.
Since you brought her on, are you moving a lot more dessert?
Oh, absolutely. You know, and our only advertising social media. It's Instagram and Facebook. It's really it. And you know, we'll communicate, and she'll be like, "Hey, what do you think of this idea?"
Who is this woman? This is
great, man. I'm telling you.
I never would have thought about corn.
No kidding. You know what I mean? And what I was talking about before was the smoked butter. We used it for s'mores cupcakes, and you know, you get that smoky flavor in there. She used the butter to actually make it. It's great. But that's, you know, Tanya, who we were talking about earlier.
Love you, T.
She was at the restaurant before, and the dude kind of just brushed her off and was just like, you know, watch the fryer.
I hate when people do that because people have done that to me. Yeah. It's like, once I started, and it's hard to come into your own in a kitchen because it takes, like, to have the balls to make something. Even when I'm making food for these guys, I'll start getting doubts and be like, I don't know if they're gonna like it. Or sometimes I'll say to like Tim and be like, it's close to where I want it. And like, what are you, a fucking idiot? This is ridiculous. But if somebody shuts the door on you immediately when you're trying to be creative, and that's the most annoying fucking thing. And that goes for anything.
That's
when
my
somebody's trying to be creative.
Exactly. And you need no matter what you're doing. No matter what you're doing, you need people around you that support and open those doors and don't shut it down.
Yeah.
That's what. So I've always wanted at this place. It's not just me. Like anything, it's a team effort, right? So anyone that's in here,
you can't run a kitchen unless everybody's on the same fucking page.
So that's part of it when I interview people and when I get chefs in, and it took me 6 months to get a solid crew in here, and including Tanya. You know, she came to the place and no one ever was like, hey, you're working a kitchen. What can you cook? And she's like, oh, well, I can cook cornbread.
Make
and I was like, okay, make me some cornbread because I make cornbread. Is that
the cornbread that she makes?
So ultimately, she made cornbread. I made my cornbread, and I'm like, oh, yours is fucking way better. We're keeping it.
There's so many different ways to make cornbread.
Yeah, but you know how many people wouldn't say that and would just be like, no, my cornbread.
But it's not. That's what I mean. It's not a fucking ego thing. It's a food.
How are we going to sell more food?
Ultimately, we're a restaurant.
Yeah. So are you going to make less money because you want it to be yours?
Because you want it to be yours. Exactly. I don't give a shit. I don't care if anyone knows my name. Like I just want people to enjoy the food. Her collard greens, same thing. I had my recipe for collard greens. She made hers, and I'm like, oh, yours are fucking delicious. We're keeping.
Does she do the chicken as well?
Oh, her fried chicken. Yeah,
that's why I want to go. So is chicken on the menu now?
It's not, but you can always order it. Yeah, like we have a bunch of stuff. Like that's how we are. Like whatever our specials are. Like we do BLTs with our bacon. It's not advertised, but if you come in and like, I want a BLT, no problem. Yeah. Like if we have the ingredients, we'll fucking do it. No problem. It's there. There's no
reason. What does she do with her chicken? Is there seasoning on it?
It's super like simple, and that's what I think.
But it's secret. Nobody ever tells you there's a secret seasoning.
And I don't think she's told me her full secret.
I'm telling you, I swear to God, they won't. You go down south and you have chicken down south.
It's dark meat and it's flour and it's minimal seasoning. Yeah. I will say that she puts some seasoning, but it's minimal.
Yeah.
And people come in and are like, you got the chicken? Yeah, no problem.
What's it called? T's Chicken?
Tanya's Fried Chicken. It comes with a pack of Parliaments. And
yeah, I love all that.
No, yeah, when it was down in Alabama, I had like 3 chicken places. Every single one was different.
Yeah.
They're all amazing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, man, you guys sell the seasoning for this stuff? They're like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope, you can't have it. Damn it.
I want to ask you guys, I'd like to talk about food trends for just a little bit. Like,
we can hop over. Because what I wanted to cover is pretty much what we covered, which is you getting into it and the menu and all that stuff.
Yeah, ultimately, the menu, I always just wanted to be creative, and if you have a baseline,
what are your sides?
Sides change, but right now it's potato chip casserole, which
is ridiculous.
That is an old
Is that Ruffles?
Recipe. That might
What
be
chips do you
Ruffles.
use?
Sour cream and onion on top.
Ooh, sour cream and onion.
So it's more like a cheesy hash brown bake, and we use sour cream in it. We use chives in it. We use American cheese. We use shredded cheese and sautéed onions. And
my wife does that, but she puts cornflakes on top.
Okay, yeah, sure.
She puts cornflakes. She grew up doing it. Yeah. It's good.
So we've tried, spicy chips. We tried barbecue, and we just stuck with sour cream. That's a big thing now. But
it's ridiculous.
Cheetos in a fucking chicken?
We went to the AMC theater. It was DePrima, myself, and Jer.
Yeah.
And we didn't have time because Jer got out late.
Yeah.
We went to like the 9:30 movie.
KFC's doing like a hot Cheetos.
We get there.
Diarrhea sandwich.
They have,
Jesus Christ.
They have their gourmet hot dogs, and then they have what you can pick on it. So DePrima and Jer both going with sauerkraut, chili, and spicy brown.
Sauerkraut and chili?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And I was just like, you know what? I would eat that, but I was like, I'm going to go a little bit different.
Hot Cheetos,
and then I was like,
Funyuns.
I'm going to do the hot Cheetos because it said hot Cheetos. Now I'm picturing that this is a dusting. Like they have ground hot Cheetos, and that's how I would do it.
Yeah.
So then I was like, and I'll do it with the chili, and I'm like, the hot will go with the chili, and I was like, it'll go. I'm not gonna do cheese because now we're just talking about. Now I have a mess in my lap.
Yeah,
I'm wearing white linens, like
a robe, a white robe.
Been wearing linens all summer. So I went and DePrima's like, "Are you wearing linens?" I was like, "Yeah." And Jared's like, "This is the nicest he's looked in the last fucking 6 months." I'm like, "I'm coming out of a rut." So I get my hot dog and I open the container and they literally put 6 full Cheetos over top. Like it wasn't broken down. They just put and there was like a cube, which you would like dump cereal in, like if you're at like an ice cream bar.
Yeah.
That was filled with Cheetos that went stale, and then they took 6 of them and put them over my hot dog. You couldn't really even bite it because it was like putting a big Cheeto in your bite. So I was just like, ended up most of them fell off, and I ate them at the end.
That's shady.
I don't know. It would have worked if it would have been done correctly, but then I realized that I was in an AMC with 2 guys just using.
You just eat stale Cheetos.
You think they're hiring a chef?
No, it was a shitty, and they were behind, and the guy was backed up.
Yeah.
There's like one guy was like giving him shit. I'm like, there's 2 fucking kids here. 2 kids.
It'd be great if they just gunned it right at you.
Yeah.
But if like food trends, like what do you guys think of like, cheeseburgers were big. What do you think of like vegan? Do you think it's like gonna stick around? Do you think it's just a trend? Do you think
this way, I lived in Brooklyn in 98 until 2001, something like that.
Yeah.
And I lived with this dude from upstate New York, and he ate vegan food, and I think that was the beginning of when I first started seeing that stuff. And he'd come and he was just like, the one day he was making his burger and it just was off. It was just making weird noises, and I go, "What the fuck is that?" And he's like, "It's made from seeds and soy." And so I go, "Get the fuck out." That was back then. So that was still 98, 99. So it's still here.
Still here.
But you
think it's picking up? You think that is something that is...
If you go into a city, when I was in Virginia, I dated a vegan, and to me it's like whatever. I don't give a fuck.
You have to carry her around because they have malnutrition.
No, she wasn't malnutrition. She had a nice little donkey on her. I enjoyed it.
Like it doesn't bother me at all. I think the only thing that bothers me is you see, vegan pop-ups and stuff like this, and they don't offer meat options. We offer vegan options.
Yes.
Because we want to. Because and it's not just like shit like, try the shit garden burger. Like we really try to do good salads, and we try to offer a really good vegan burger, and we try to offer vegan sides.
Walk in like a place like yours that is going to be barbecue, which is like meat and just.
But we still want to offer a decent product. If you're vegan, if you're coming along, hey man, we still want to take care. But what I don't see is vegan people offering meat.
No.
So that's the weird thing for me, is always like, well, we'll totally offer 5 or 6 items that if you're vegan, come in and
here's some jackfruit.
By the way, I got confused. I thought that was like pulled barbecue the one time, like pulled meat.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I went because I was at my cousin's wedding in Philly. I was loading up my plate.
Yeah.
And one guy's like, wow, you really like jackfruit? And I go, the fuck is a jackfruit? He goes, and I sat down, I picked up my phone, I was like, what the fuck is jackfruit? And I was like, oh, I'm not eating this fucking shit. You can have this shit.
All I learned from dating her,
very gassy?
No, was
patchouli.
We started going to actual vegan restaurants.
Yeah.
Because they were in the city.
Yeah.
And I wasn't, the one place only served vegan food. There was 3 things on the menu, and that was what the chef was serving.
Sure.
And that's the only thing that you could order.
Yeah.
And it was all fantastic.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay. And then we went to a couple pizza places. I would get the regular dough. She would get. And half the time, the other thing, too, is like, what I dislike about it is people who aren't well versed in the diet, and then they eat whatever the fuck they want, and then they tell you you're fucking stupid because pigs are dying.
So ultimately, what it comes down to is
I will fucking grab a pig and slit that fucking throat if I get bacon.
And ultimately, what it comes down to is preaching. Like, I think be into whatever. The
same
fuck
thing with
you
religion. I get people people shit on the Catholic religion. I was raised Catholic, and I go, look, my mom goes to church every Sunday as well. I go, I don't know why she goes. I go, she's definitely old enough to realize that probably didn't happen.
Yeah.
I said, but she goes there by herself, and she will recharge, and she will just let it all out as if she's going for a jog.
Sure.
And then until I realized why my mom did that, and I was like, oh, mom goes to church every Sunday. It's kind of a reset to get ready for the week, and she just kind of lets out all of her stress and her worries. And then she's just like, all right, well, I hope Michael gets a job, and I hope Roger's kids are all right. And she just puts that all out there.
Sure. She's around like-minded people. They get together, they sing.
That's why she goes.
Sure.
And that's what she wants her kids to do. But my mom never fucking pushes religion on anybody.
And that's
never does that shit.
Okay.
But if I've been around like uber fucking Christian people who used to be like fucking alcoholics and shit.
Sure.
Now they're like
that's always the funniest.
Yeah.
You know, there's always the people that you talk to. Oh man, I remember the days doing coke and banging hookers and all this stuff.
And then,
but Jesus came in and you're like,
and then
you can't pull that fucking card.
It turns into I can do whatever the fuck I want because now this is getting
exactly.
Me out of it. So what I do dislike about the vegan and that shit is I think it's awesome if you're trying to eat better and you're fucking eating more salads. And you're even putting information out there for kids that are like, hey, you shouldn't eat this shit all the time. But what I don't need to see is you putting up there where like foreign countries are killing dogs or like other shit like that. It's like that stuff's happening, and it's just like until I see, like, if you're not doing anything at all to do that, to stop that at all. No, I'm telling, even if you're not making a t-shirt, not doing a GoFundMe, if you're doing nothing but reposting somebody else's shit,
exactly right.
Shut the fuck
exactly
up.
Right, man.
Did you see the video, by the way, speaking of that, a bunch of vegans handcuffed themselves?
Oh, I did see that. They played that on Your Mom's House.
Oh,
they were at like a chicken slaughterhouse, and they all handcuffed themselves to the
chicken rack where they hang upside down.
And the farmer just was like, "I'm done here," and he turned it on.
Yeah, and the guys like,
they started moving with it, and they're all like, "Get me the fuck out of here!"
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and they freaked out, and
it's fantastic.
The comments on YouTube were like, "How dare this asshole?" And I'm thinking, you know what? If I came into your fucking job,
but that's what it was. Is that
that's what I mean.
The guy broke it down to them, and he and then they all not calm down, but they're like, "Get me the fuck out of here!" And the guy just goes, "Hey man, this is my fucking business."
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, be into anything. You can get it. You can be into fucking vampire techno orgies, and that's cool. But as soon as you're sitting there being like, "You need to be into vampire," that's fucking stupid. Yeah. So veganism to me, cool. By all means, get into it. But when you start attacking other people, it's carcinogens, and you're the pigs that you eat are. And you're like, dude,
you're a murderer.
What are you fucking doing?
So you're a murderer. You realize that more bugs die getting your shit.
You're driving your diesel truck.
Yeah. And what I think it is I don't even think it's that the people think that killing animals. I mean, well, some people do think that's wrong, but like when people get into that, I think a lot of people are like, it's like when somebody starts like the keto diet and they're just telling you all about it. And it's just like,
exactly.
So it's like
it sounds awesome.
They're afraid. They're afraid that if they don't know if it's going to work or not.
Sure.
So their insecurities come out and they just start overly telling you, no, this and that and that. And I think that's where it lies, where people get into being vegan, and then I don't know too many people that jump into being vegan and stay vegan. I probably know about maybe 5 people that are like Resigno, and like he ended up like writing books, and he's another one. He's out there like teaching classes. Like that's awesome.
You're doing exactly.
That's awesome.
Sure.
But it's like if you're just bitching and you're saying fuck you to say fuck you.
Exactly.
But there's do you see my whole thing is, Rogan got in trouble when he was making fun of vegans, like making fun of like there isn't any vegan like bodybuilders and stuff. There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
But there's one guy that came out and was like fuck you. But then when you looked at his regimen, you're working 3 times as hard because you don't want to eat a fucking hamburger.
Yeah, exactly.
No, when I lived in Virginia and I was going to Planet Fitness, the personal trainer that I got, he was a vegan bodybuilder, but like what he had to do was like, eat 10 buckets. No, it was like 10 buckets of like soybeans.
Sure.
Like it was just an astronomical amount of shit that you would have to switch your diet over to.
Yeah.
I don't have problems with people being it, but like
I think it's just preaching, and I think it's preaching in general.
And I think it is a trendy thing. And I think it kind of like comes and goes with whatever like Vice or something. Sure.
Listen, I don't care what they do, but I know I'll never do it. Yeah. But I had a lady that came into our office that signed on a bail, and she was pushing, I'm a vegan, I do this, I'm against the killing of animals. And I looked at her and I was like, she's like, I eat perfectly clean, and I'm like, you are like, she's the worst looking person I've ever seen. Like her skin was fucking oily. She looked like a skeleton. Like you look sick.
My whole thing has always just been like if a vegan would come in and be like, "Hey, I'm vegan," I would never be like, "Get the fuck out!"
No.
This is meat and barbecue. Like, but flip it around.
But if you go in there and say, "Yeah, can you have a steak here?"
Yeah, you go to a vegan place and be like, "Hey, man, can I bring this burger?" And you'd be doused in soybean.
Sure.
I don't know. It's always been an interesting.
What other trends do you think are going around?
Do you ever hear the pickle sandwich?
Yes, I did. I see that. So I'm intrigued because I like pickles.
I do too, and I would easily try it. But could you eat 2 pickle hoagies a week?
Fuck yes.
Dude, your sodium you'd be fucking deep.
Clearly I'm the pillar of health. So, but no, what I'm saying, my biggest thing is the pickle has to be right.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of people that like.
If it's a soft old
I made pickle and it's gross.
Yeah,
like something's wrong.
Yeah,
but if you get a really nice, like even how
I think it's got to be somewhat thin and crisp. If you get a long,
did you see the one that pictures they were showing that were like? It's a thick ass.
Yeah. So pretty much it's an Italian hogie, but instead of bread, it's a split pickle as your roll.
A deli pickle, and they hollow out the middle and fill it with stuff.
Well, I mean, it probably wouldn't be bad if it was hollowed.
I'd like to try it.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's like that? There's some deli. I think in Jersey it's
of course
huge.
What's the one like
you got to take 9 jug handles to get there.
I like their their pickles and stuff, but they're overly garlicked.
Yeah,
and if you had a whole thing like that, you would vomit. Pickles, garlic.
We don't do them in house. I've made them on my own.
Do you do pizza at your place?
We do flatbreads. Yeah. So like now we have buffalo chicken, pulled chicken that we pull from the smoked quarter chicken. We make a buffalo with buffalo sauce and peppers and onions and crumbled blue cheese. We do a gorgonzola cream sauce on flatbread. We grill it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the closest that we've done. We do a pulled pork as well with cheddar cheese sauce. The same sauce we use for macaroni and cheese with crispy onions on top.
Yeah.
It's good.
Oh my god! Everything you brought was.
Let me ask you guys this. And this is an awesome discussion. But what's your last meal? Like, what's your death row? You get one more fucking meal on this earth. What is it? Anything you want? What is it?
All right, I'm good. You ready?
Yeah, you go first. I'm still thinking because it's not going to be steak.
Oh, fuck. I want a tomahawk fucking steak.
Yeah.
Medium.
Yeah.
But it's got to be dry aged.
Yeah.
Beautiful cut of fucking meat.
Yeah.
You got to have fucking mashed potatoes with solid brown gravy.
Sure.
Similar to Popeyes with shit in it. Peppers, whatever. I don't care.
Jankum.
You need some fucking corn on the cob. And then some kind of fruit.
You're going
oranges.
Yeah.
And then dessert. Yeah, I don't really...
Fruit, thrown in some orange.
You got to have something. Yeah, you're dying. You got to live it up. Probably dessert. It would probably have to be. I mean, I'm not a big dessert guy because I'm not a big cake guy or anything. But I would say probably cheesecake. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
What else would you want? Something rich. That's
you're going out, man. Like what? You know.
Yeah. I'm pricey.
I would definitely
probably whack it for $120.
Oh fuck yeah! But dude, it'd be so fucking good. I would definitely do wings. Like I love wings so much.
Yeah.
So I there's a place in.
What wings do you guys do? We had your wings. What flavors do you offer?
So I love our wings. I really do.
How do you get them? Do you get them from a purveyor?
We get them from Cisco, and they're big ones.
No, Cisco has good wings.
They do, and they're big, and that's the whole point. I wanted really big, juicy, meaty wings.
Yeah, and wing dings.
We beer brine them for 24 hours overnight, and then with seasoning beer.
See, that's the thing. You're getting Cisco's wings, but you're doing your own thing.
Doing your own thing. You're juicing them up. Then they get smoked for 2.5 hours or something like that. So they get smoked flavor.
What beer do you use?
Omission. So it's gluten free.
From that brewery?
No, we're not using that.
You drank my Omission beer that I had in the fridge.
Gluten free. So we
remember the one you called last week and said, "Boy, whose Omission beer was this?" It was mine.
It was probably good.
It's a very light
it is.
lager.
Yeah, it's good, but it's gluten free. So that's another thing.
It's all gluten free, and it's very light, so you don't want a dark.
No, and we add seasonings to it, and we smoke it, so you get the smoke flavor, and then you get them fried or grilled. Which to me, honestly, growing up wings. I fucking love wings.
I still remember the first time when I started going out for wings.
Oh, me too, man. Rookies in Allentown, dude. It was like $7 all you can eat.
$7 every Thursday.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Their flavors were good.
Dude, it was great. But then they caught on and they started charging for blue cheese, which pissed me off.
Yeah, but now you listen to like the bars and they're pushing, they're like, $1.50 wings, like $1.50 wings.
That's what I mean.
It used to be quarter.
That's what gets me. Like our wings, 6 or 5.50. You can get a dozen for $11. Because and even though we do a lot of
to them, a lot more. They're dumping them in a deep fryer.
That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. You know what I mean?
They're proud about it. Like we have $1.50 wings. I used to pay a quarter.
I love wings, man. I always have. So I didn't want to fuck around with the wings. And I love smoked wings because when you're eating them, grilled are a little bit more tender and deep fried are crispy.
Yep.
But you get that ham flavor.
So you guys deep fry them after you smoke them?
Your choice. You get them grilled or deep fried.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much cooked after we smoke them, and then you get them.
Except for the lady in the office who you killed her baby.
Except for that one. You kill one baby.
You lose one every so often.
And then we make our own blue cheese in house, which to me is another side factor.
What's in blue cheese?
Sour cream, mayo, lemon juice, Worcestershire hot sauce, and then blue cheese crumbles.
I made aioli from scratch
Salt and pepper.
when I worked in a whiskey bar in Virginia, and then that's when I realized how disgusting mayonnaise is.
Oh, so you don't like it?
I love mayonnaise.
I love generic.
But fresh mayonnaise is really good.
But I'm saying when you make mayonnaise and it's just oil.
It's oil and egg, right?
Yeah.
Super healthy.
Yeah. So to me, wings were huge. Like so I needed them to be the best that we can do. And honestly, at our shop, I eat wings the most.
What wings would you get? How many?
So
wings would you get?
I would get 6 because 12.
It's your last meal.
But I don't. But this is an appetizer, dude. This isn't the main. This isn't the main rib, dude. I'm starting with 6, and I'm probably getting them from a place in Quakertown. There's this hole in the wall in the middle of the woods, Casey's place, and for whatever reason, they're fucking wings. There's nothing. They don't have crazy. They don't have Thai chili. They have buffalo and barbecue.
Thai chili, and it's really just a container.
That's all it is.
I love.
It's got like Japanese.
The sweet and sweaty.
Sweet and sweaty,
and red pepper.
Yeah,
it's so easy.
It's
but
a place in Allentown that used to have really fucking good wings. Yeah, Roosters they had a shuffleboard and a pool table.
Yeah, it was
Ringer's
Roost
right by the YMCA off 15th.
We used to go to Ringer's Roost,
peanut butter and jelly wings.
Over by Main Gate, and it was the same thing. It was a Monday Night Football. You could do all you can eat wings. And they're sweet and sweaty. Yeah. The honey they used was like all that. So good. It was so good.
So I would do 6 from Casey's place in Quakertown, Buffalo, because extra crispy. They're fucking delicious, man. And they make blue cheese, and they're just fucking great. I think I would start with that, and I would probably go to like a small side salad with Russian dressing.
Yes.
Just to get things going.
Yeah.
And I fuck. See, that now's where it gets tough, because I think I would do like crab legs, and I'd probably do like a cheesesteak hoagie.
You guys
with mayo.
You guys did lobster rolls down at the beach. I never had those before.
Fucking great.
Where's a good place to get an actual good lobster roll?
Around here, I have no fucking clue.
What about in the city?
But here's the problem. Here's the problem with lobster rolls. You go to a place and they make lobster salad, and they put it on and you're like, no, it's got to be grilled bun, buttered bun with, you could put a little bit of mayo in there, but it's got to be lobster chunk.
Do you guys fuck around with any seafood?
We do. Like right now we have the Captain Tartar's clam boat po' boy, which is really good. We did an oyster po' boy, and we did fresh fried calamari, Cajun calamari with a Tabasco aioli. That's really good too. But right now it's like fried tender clam strips, on a long roll, lettuce, tomato, onion, pickles, and homemade tartar sauce.
I can't. I just don't like seafood.
No, you don't? None?
No. I went to New Orleans,
but I thought you liked the po' boy.
Yeah, meat, the roast beef. Like I want my my friend.
You don't like raw oysters?
I don't like that shit.
Fuck, raw oysters.
So when we were
good.
down in New Orleans, and he's getting fucking barbecued oysters and all this
stuff,
and he's bringing them out, and I just kept eating the roast beef po' boys, which I got a recipe online, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
you just cook the shit out of it, and it literally just falls apart. You get really nice French bread,
and
then you get the they call it the debris. So you put the meat, and you got the debris, which is all the scrapings on the bottom.
We do that with our brisket. Like
I think I had 10 fucking sandwiches in 2 days. I just ate it.
With our brisket, like the burn ends and stuff, and just those little pieces because we make our own au jus from natural au jus from the smoke and all that stuff. And our sandwiches is the chopped burn ends of the brisket and all the kind of bark of it and all the kind of leftovers that's there. It's fucking delicious, and that stuff is packed with flavor. And you let that sit in au jus. That stuff is gold. Yep. You know what I mean?
It's so flavorful. It's awesome.
But I think I would end with a cheesesteak hoagie. I love fucking cheesesteak hoagies, dude.
What do you guys do for your cheesesteak? Do you just do like chop?
That's the Philly smoke. So we use our brisket. So we do long roll, buttered long roll. We do American cheese. We do our chopped brisket. And we do a homemade cheese sauce. And then crispy fried fresh onions.
How do you do the cheese sauce?
That's made from 4 different types of cheeses: heavy cream, milk, dry mustard, garlic, onion.
Yeah.
It does. Again, cheese sauce isn't hard to do. Make a big batch of it, and this stuff is gold. We use that for our macaroni and cheese. Yeah. We also do a homemade queso. Like our pulled pork nachos are from start to finish. We fry, corn tortillas from scratch because we have a deep fryer. So we get white corn tortillas. We cut them up. We fry them. That right there takes no amount of effort.
None.
And right away your nachos are fucking a million times better.
Yeah.
Right away. You can tell when you get Tostitos or that shit. Right away they're good. Pulled pork, our homemade queso, which is our cheese sauce but made with dark chili powder and smoked jalapenos that's turned into a powder then and ground up. And salt and pepper, homemade queso sauce, corn and black bean salad, pulled pork, shredded cheese, sour cream, barbecue sauce, and then a little bit of our pork rub. It's fucking good.
Oh my God.
But again, these things, like, you sit here and you're like, oh my God, it sounds great. It's just caring. It's just giving a shit. It's just giving a little bit of a shit to do this stuff and putting a fucking little bit of effort into it. And it amazes me when you go to these places and you're like, you're getting Cisco stuff, and you're just like, dude, it could have taken.
Well, I told you, like Dickies. I told you when I went there, I was.
They know it though. They know that's why they give you free ice cream because they know they're like, you're probably gonna get a fucking half-ass meal. Have some ice cream.
Yeah. And the
So-
ice cream sucks.
I just think you can't be lazy in this day and age with fucking food, man. And that's our whole thing.
I would probably do hog wings from
What's that?
Black and Blue.
Yeah. Pork.
Yeah. And then this is what I used to get with Jer all the time because
Black and Blue was awesome,
dude. The
shame.
Original Black and Blue. I used to go there with Jer and we'd split. We'd split hog wings and we'd get it was like a blueberry one maybe that was like spicy.
Yeah.
And then they had like a regular one or it might have been a Thai chili. They had two. There was only 3 flavors, so we'd split it, and then we would get medium rare. Black and Blue burger.
Yeah.
With the bacon,
the
blue cheese, and it was cooked perfect, and they knew what the fuck they were doing, and it was the best burger that you can get in the fucking area.
It's awesome.
I would get I would get the wings to start, and then they would come with the little fries, where they just changed it over and they start calling them like frites.
Yeah.
And they're smaller.
Yeah. Crispy, smaller. Yeah. It's good. It's good.
But I mean, that's such a tough question for me because I'm such a foodie.
Yeah.
Because then I was
you don't got time to decide, dude. You're dying.
I was just like, well, then a part of me was like, 1, there has to be bacon in it.
Yeah.
2, what about breakfast?
Well,
you can go down a total rabbit hole, but it depends on when you're getting killed.
I also like doing the wings because if you're getting killed, then you may just shit your pants to leave someone with something. Yeah. Like someone's got to clean up after you and be like, this dick.
Ugh. So where are you at now with everything as far as like
shit
now,
in your pants?
Well, you kind of got through the hump where most people would have given up already.
We're 8 months in.
You have a solid staff of cooking.
We do. It took me 6 months, and that was
that's got to be the hardest,
dude. We've been through 3 head chefs, and I've never really had employees.
Yeah.
And my whole thing has always been, come in here. I want you to be able to experiment, learn our product, and you're a chef, right?
Did you fire them or did they leave?
No, I fired all of them because...
Is that awkward? Probably not for you. You probably enjoyed it. You're sick.
Not anymore, man. Because it's like, because here it is. We have people that there are a lot of fucking people that are full of shit. So we're starting off and we get someone in here. Hey man, I got 20 years of experience and this menu's nothing, and I can easily get no problem. Because really, I'm the only one doing the barbecue. It's really, you have to make sure everything looks great. You have to maintain the food itself, make sure it's dry and juicy, make sure it looks great, make sure you don't over grill it. Make sure you don't destroy what I'm doing. It's really it. From there, I want you to be creative and I want you to come up with shit.
Yeah.
I want you
come up with a menu.
Dude, look at what our product.
Here's
you're
what
a
you
chef.
have to use.
You're a chef. Let's fucking open the doors. Make something. Let's eat it. If it's awesome, put it on the menu and see what the people think. Like, that's how I want to operate. And I got 20 years of experience, no problem. And in there and fucking clueless. And we're getting slammed. And this is, opening 6 months. I can't have you get fucked. Hey, you can have fuck ups here and there. That's okay.
And you have your nights where you're
human.
Overwhelmed, you're in the weeds, and you're panic attacks.
Hey, I got 20 years of experience. Yeah. This is nothing. This menu's nothing. And fucking 4 things deep, you're standing there going, there's a fire. I had a guy. There's a fire on the grill. What does he go for? A fucking big thing of water. And I'm like, there's a grease fire, and you're going to grab water?
Did he throw water on it?
He was going to, and I go, what do you do? I go, stop now. I'm like, stop and let this burn out. It's not going to happen. And then he announces to the people that are sitting there, folks, we have a fire in the kitchen. This is our restaurant is an open kitchen. You can see.
I hate open kitchen. I hate cooking in an open kitchen.
But that's part of it.
It looks much better, but
you have to fucking keep your shit together. You have to be clean.
Yep. You're not wiping stuff.
No, dude, you need to get your shit together. People are watching whether you know it or not. And here you got this guy. It's not a grease fire. Folks, it's a small. Folks. I just want to inform you that your food's going to be wild because there's a fire. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, man?
Did you fire him that night?
Well, this dude had this poor guy. He was a nice dude. He was a nice dude, but he had this fucking girlfriend that would we called her the Beast. Like he didn't have a phone. He had a phone, but it was like a pay phone that she controlled, and she would drive up and fucking make sure that he just sit there at front kicking butts and make sure that he's fucking working. And she started to call me and be like, what's his hours this week and stuff. I'm like, what? I'd be like, like, dude, you gotta fucking, I'm not dealing with this. Like,
she's not controlling me. She's
not at all. You. So she came in. So she came in one time. He's working, and she comes. I wasn't in the shop that day. She comes flying in with a fucking lit button. I got people sitting there, and she comes flying in. And she's like, "You don't fucking talk to my kids this way," to him, and starts this shit in the restaurant. And Tanya calls me. He's like, "Yo, shit's going down. You need to fucking do this." And I'm like, "The Beast, fuck." So,
did you listen to Iron Maiden on the way?
So I get in there. I'm like, dude, you need to fucking keep her in line. Like, you're gonna lose your job because there's drama and weird shit happening.
I know this has happened.
No, truly, he's like, I know, man. Like, I'm trying. Like,
who puts up with that?
That's the thing. I'm like, I'm telling you, you're gonna lose your job.
She's got something magical.
And that happened a second time, and then this fire thing happened, and I'm just like, dude, I'm sorry. And he knew it. It wasn't even like, what do you mean? He was like, yeah, I know, man. She's rough. She's like, and you could tell like he's done this numerous times. And he's just like, does this, and I was like, all right, man.
So you guys have a solid staff there now?
6 months it took to get. The hardest part was finding people I trust, people that I like, people that actually have their wits about them and got what we were doing. So it was 6 months. We have a solid staff now. We have an awesome crew. It's small, 6 people, but everyone knows the deal. So it took 6 months, and it's very scary when it's all on your shoulders, and I couldn't trust anybody.
And you're relying on people you don't fucking know.
Dude.
That's what's lifesavers when you got somebody like Tanya in there who's with it, and she knows everything,
and she knows how to close. She has it back. She gets the deal. She knows how to close down.
Yep. You can trust her.
You can trust her. And I do tests. You have to fucking do tests. The hardest thing is trust. This is everything I have is into this.
Yeah.
Like, I have to watch everything. And I don't want to be, but you have to be. You have to be. You never know who you have strangers working for you. You have no fucking clue.
And they're touching your money.
No, and they're touching your foot, like everything. They're touching everything. They are in control of your product. They're touching your money. They are, you know what I mean? Like, we have servers. Like, you gotta fucking watch everything. That's the one thing that I wasn't that. I knew I could handle the product. I knew I'd bust my ass to get good barbecue out there and stuff like that. But everything, every fucking thing is on your shoulders. Everything, down to the straws. You run out of straws, I have to run to the store and get fucking straws.
Yeah.
You run out of toilet paper. The fucking ice machine break. Like, it's all on me. Everything. That's the fucking rough side of it. Like, every single fucking day that we open those doors, it's all on me.
Yeah.
The sign doesn't work, I gotta fix it. The fucking fire alarm doesn't work, I gotta fix it. Like, it's just.
What are your hours there?
I'm always in there early. I'm usually in there like 6 a.m. We're open Tuesday through Saturday. We were doing brunches on Sunday. We're doing awesome Sunday brunches. You know, our bacon, brisket hash, homemade scratch biscuits with sausage gravy. Like, we were doing, and we were offering. We teamed up with Neshaminy Creek, so you got a free beer from Neshaminy Creek, complimentary, because we don't have a liquor license. You're not allowed. So, or a mimosa. So it was like we were doing Sunday brunches. And we started picking up with catering, and I just couldn't fucking handle it. I had one day off, Mondays. And if you think I had a day off, like, all I was doing was working on Mondays. I had to run and get wood, or I had to run to the depot, or I had to do, get my orders in. I had to get, do all my, like, I didn't.
It's crazy.
I have a fucking day off, man. Like.
And you have a family.
Full family. Yeah. Full family that I was watching from a distance, which fucking sucks, dude. There's nothing worse than, like, hey, you're going to bed? Good night, huh? Like,
we talked about on here, like, one of my kids was walking.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a video of them walking. Fucking it.
So, and again, it's part of the reason why I want to do this, because it's local. I wanted to be closer, and now I am closer, but I'm farther. Like, farther than when I was fucking traveling. So, but this was the first 3 months. Again, when I talk about nightmare scenario, it was the first 3 months.
Yeah.
Things then started to fall in place. You get systems in place, and you start getting a grip on shit.
Yeah.
You start getting, okay, I can smoke this time, this day. I don't have to smoke this day. Okay, this day I can do this. So right now we're in a position where it's comfortable, and there's people in place. And, hey, my kid's thing is this Wednesday. I'm going to leave. Tanya, can you close down?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, now finally is where, I can't say enjoying it, but it's easier.
It's relieving the pressure.
Not even easier. There is. It's just, and that's like anything. Anything you're fucking starting, you just got to get these systems in place. But I look back 3 months ago and I was a fucking wreck, man. Like a wreck. Because this was just on top of me. I was so nuts about everything. Everything had to be great. Sodas had to be in. Okay, but these bills had to be paid. And, finally now people are in place and it's cool. And that shows, it's nice coming into a place and being like, hey, come on in and getting the bullshit with people. And now's the cool part. These things are still there. I just can control them.
Yeah.
Again, this is all fucking brand new to me. This is all a new thing,
dude, it's crazy that you even did it. That's why when you were like, yo, man, would you care if I came on? I'm like, dude, I've been trying to get you on for forever. And then, like you said, you didn't have anything, because we know each other from making movies with Nacho Mountain.
Sure.
I mean, anytime with Jer,
pardon me, I didn't know.
Anytime you guys did anything, you included me in it, and I was always so thankful, because like that's how I even started envisioning doing any of this, because I was like, well, these guys are doing the commercial for the haunted house, and these guys are doing Josh Martin's video, and then I was just there. You want me to go get coffee? Like, it was so cool to even be around. That
was awesome, man. But anything you fucking do, anything, I don't care what it is, unless you're a fucking douchebag with a big ego and that shows, anything you do, you're reliant on other people.
Absolutely, especially
you need to, people support you, you need to fucking support them. That's just how, being a good person and whatever else, that's how you fucking get shit done. If you're that type of person, fuck you, and this is my thing, and this is how it's gonna go, you're done. You're toast, man. I don't care what you're doing, you're toast. And film especially. When we were doing film, that film if you're on there and this is my movie and my name's on, directed by me and written by me, and you're fucking done. You got nothing, dude. Your shit's gonna suck. It's everybody. That a movie is fucking 35 people to 40 people busting their ass for some weird vision that you have to hold it together.
Yeah.
But every one of those people are killing themselves for that. You know, so
Mansion style.
Oh, that's a whole other bit, man. That's ego. That's very intriguing to me, because you see that, and you see restaurant, film, anything. You see these people that wear their ego on their sleeves, and
goes nowhere.
It goes fucking nowhere. Zelker, that's the big guy around the Lehigh, filmmaker, the Lehigh Valley, whatever. And you just go, you're a douche. Written by, no one knows who you are. No one knows who the fuck you are. You know, and your name's in the big letters, and your actors and your catering and everything else is fucking minuscule. They're just as important. They're the ones that are, it's a group effort. If you can't share that equally, you're toast. This isn't, you know, I might have created this restaurant, and this might be my food and my barbecue and my menu and stuff like that, but I don't give a shit if my name's out there or not. We're all in this together. The people that work for me, we're a group, we're a team every fucking day. They're working just as hard as I am, you know, and we all have the same goal, which is putting out a good product. If this thing fails, they don't have a job. Yeah. I don't have a job. So to put it all on me and be like, bro, this is my place, and that's bullshit.
You wouldn't go anywhere.
You would go nowhere. And I see that. People see that. It's funny. There's a lot of people that have that, and it just reeks. Like you can sense it from them. And you're just like, oh, you're a douche. Yeah, okay, cool. Your shit isn't going in. Name someone that is a big douchebag, unless you're
Michael Fauerbach.
The Rock.
Oh,
well. He seems somewhat nice.
No, he's not.
No, he's a super shit fake. He's a super nice guy.
Seems like he'd be nice.
He's only about helping people.
Corporate Rock was awesome, man. That's a good bit.
We'll see how his movie does against Tarantino's this month.
Oh, he's gonna blow that shit away.
Yeah.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Hell yeah.
It's not even. It's presented by Fast and Furious.
He is the American actor.
It's not even the Fast and Furious.
It's the Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw.
It's not. It's presented by. Well, everything you just said is why I wanted to have you on, and I do want to do more stuff. But like I've known you over the years, and you've always been one of my favorite people. And then
that's cool.
Because I've asked you multiple times to come on, because I even wanted to come on and talk about Nacho Mountain, and you're like, I don't know. And then when you had this, and I was just like,
I wanted to come on because if anything, I needed a therapist through this whole thing, and I just can't afford one. You know what I mean? But this is I wanted to come on because there's no guide when I was setting this up.
No, that's
small business.
That's what I try and get out of this is. What this is all developing into is the more I'm interviewing people, and because I'm striving to do something on just a whole different level. Like everybody that I'm having on is trying to follow a dream, and like that's the whole thing with peeling the onion back. And my thing is like if they take something from the Emily New podcast where she's going,
exactly.
You know, the big thing in hers was she's like, I'm making more money selling flannels than I am at my hourly job. Why the fuck am I still here?
I checked them out online.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, and then you're like, all right, well, I went and checked out this location, and I know all this can work, and I got through this 6 months, and it's like, I'm just trying to peel this shit back so that anyone listening who's just wants to pursue something, you just have to do it.
Absolutely. And it's one of the best things about this podcast is you just have people starting different things. Doesn't matter what the fuck it is. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Any small business, the odds are stacked the fuck against you.
And it's like, even if I have somebody on who's not technically a business and they're just making, art or something like that, it's still something they're trying to pursue that will turn into a business.
Absolutely.
And that's just what the show turned into.
And what's the common thread? Like, you've interviewed a ton of people. Like, what is the common thread with everybody? Like, I think, and I can only assume, you guys can answer better, but I can only assume perseverance, busting your fucking ass.
Yep.
Like there is no
giving a shit,
dude. You have to give a shit, and you have to literally give every fucking thing that you have. There's always a part
where the person says "fuck it."
Fuck it.
Or they're pissed off at a boss, and they're like,
"It's a huge thing." That's a huge thing of it, because you got to understand, small business or art or small whatever you're getting into, the odds are against you. From the start, there are no incentives.
No,
there's no help. You don't get health insurance.
You're out of a job.
You don't get a tax credit. You don't get a loan for free. Like, you don't get shit. You are, from being born, you're kind of taught, well, go through the motions, get a corporate job.
Yeah.
watch your soul drift away for 40 years, and then you get a pension, and you'll get a fraction of what you should get from all of your commitment.
Do you know how hard it is for my parents to swallow that I'm trying to do this?
Oh,
like, because they grew up in a time when my dad worked in a factory and my mom became a nurse.
When I talked to my old man, who my parents, school teacher and Bethlehem Steel, Vietnam veteran. When I was like, hey man, I'm stopping what I'm doing and I'm opening a barbecue restaurant, it was just like, what are you, fucking crazy?
What are you, stupid?
What the fuck? Why? Well, because, dude, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of working for other people. I'm sick. Like, this is my own thing. If it fails, who cares? It's mine, and I at least made good food for however long it goes. But all the odds are stacked against you.
Absolutely.
So,
and then if you don't have support in your corner from parents and people, then it's just like, what the fuck,
man. So you're taking all this on, and it's not easy in any fucking way. But there is something to take out of it, which is it's yours. It's my creation.
That's what I'm striving for every day. Is I don't want to wake up, and I don't want to have to drive to a job. It's like I'd rather get up on my own terms, which would end up being earlier. When the last couple of days I wasn't working, I got up at 7 and then just had been grinding on Never Again all day long. And then I was just like, oh, all right.
But look at what you created. Like when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, right? You've created something here that is different from anything on this fucking planet. That's not a bullshit grand scheme of it. There is no podcast that's like Never Again. There's no design like this, and there's no human beings that have this type of format. No one on this planet, on this earth. Smokerhead Barbecue. There is no Smokerhead, but there's barbecue places, of course, and I'm sure there's rock and roll play. I'm sure there's places, but there is absolutely no place like my place. And that is. There's no one that's making these tables. There's no one that's making that flannel. There's no one that's doing that shit. So in the back of your head, that's fucking cool. And what pisses me off is what I've realized in only 8 months is all these we get politicians and all other shit that's at the Main Street. This is gonna be for Main Street, and this is gonna be for the small. Dude, there is nothing in your corner. Know that starting out. There's nothing in your corner. You need to fucking barrel through that, and I am aware of that. You just got to keep going for it, and you get through the shit. You get through the fucking bullshit after the first year or something. All right, maybe things are clearing up a little bit. Now you're getting a hold of numbers, and now you're starting to, and who knows where the fuck it will go? Who knows?
Yeah,
who knows?
And I'm glad you pointed all that out. And I'll end on this because I don't think there's really any way, because you said it so perfectly. Is that my tagline for this business? Since I started it's who you are. And then since I've been trying to show everyone who I am and what I've been doing with the podcast, it's slowly presenting to people it's who you are. Coming on here in this interview is I'm showing everyone who you are. And there isn't any other one doing Smokerhead Barbecue, and there isn't another Never Again doing that. And it's like, that's what I'm trying to showcase is who the person is. And it's usually what I'm showcasing is they're making the decisions that either other people are afraid to do. And that's what I want people to do, is just start taking that leap forward and show everyone who you are. Because you sitting around being like, well, I got this job and it's safe. And like, I look at the guys over at the jiu-jitsu school. They all had both had regular jobs. And then everyone told them, you're fucking stupid to open up a karate school. Half of them don't even know what they're doing. They're now known coaches. They have elite people over there, and they've opened 5 or 6 franchise schools. And everyone told them, what are you fucking doing?
Absolutely.
Both of them.
Absolutely.
Their parents were like, you're going to teach jiu-jitsu and get paid for it? They both live off of that school.
Fear and comfort. Fear and comfort are two things, and it's totally fine if you want to go corporate, and
great.
That's fantastic. I'm not the fuck if I'm preaching anything else. Do whatever you'd like to do, but I do have a sense that a lot of people want to do something different. A lot of people want to, and it's fear and it's comfort that stop them from doing it. That's comfortable. I can go to work. This is my paycheck. I could give a shit about the work I'm doing. I get a week's vacation, and it's too scary to fucking open up that other thing. What if it fails? Who gives who gives a shit if it fails?
If your shit fails, what do? You go back to doing.
What are you gonna do? Crawl up in the fucking corner? Who cares? You go back to doing something else. It's okay. At least you tried it. At least you have that over a lot of people and be like, well, I fucking tried it. Here's what I learned.
Yeah.
Here's what I would do differently. Or who knows what.
Regardless, even if you fail, it's going to change your life for the better.
Who knows what doors will open up. And here's the interesting thing. Here's the interesting thing that's going on now. So we're 8 months in, and we've been approached for a second location, right? So it's nothing is official yet, and I can't get into fully, but there's a second location, kind of around like Doylestown area that developers are opening up, kind of a really cool spot, right? And there's other companies that want in, and they approached us about, do you think you'd be interested in setting up here? Yeah, I am interested in it. I don't know how the fuck I'd be able to handle it.
But you also didn't know how you would handle opening the first one.
I went into that thing not knowing anything, and I'm achieving what I want to achieve, and the product that's coming out is what I want to come out. So this is interesting. Maybe. I think so. Like, let's give it a shot. So this comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm searching for another. It's not like that was even on my fucking mind. Someone came to me and was like, shit's good. What do you think about doing this? Oh, okay. Yeah, let's talk more. So you never fucking know what the fuck will come out of it until you do it.
Well, I'm excited for you. I was just excited to have you on. Just to show everybody what you're doing. And what I want to do next is I want to come down with Matt.
Yeah.
And
we got to do a commercial.
Yes, I want to shoot a commercial, but I want to do this again, but we'll do it like a video format. We're like, we'll cook stuff. Yeah, we'll come up with something between all of us, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
but we'll come down
Paul and Waterman need to make a fucking appearance, man.
I can't wait to get Waterman in full character.
Oh, dude. But no, it's good, man. What a great program. You keep going.
Thanks,
it's great hearing other people. Ultimately, no matter what you're doing, we're all trying to do something.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's encouraging. This is the type of shit that encourages other people that I wish I would have had more of a guide.
Yeah.
When starting this stuff, man. It's good hearing from other people. It's good hearing other people take risks. It's good hearing other people have fear. It's good people overcome it. It's really awesome. And ultimately, the end product that you get out of it is cool shit.
Yeah.
Not a TGI Fridays.
I'm going to give you a chance to plug your social media because your social media is awesome.
Yeah, Smokerhead Barbecue. We're on Instagram and we're on Facebook. It's really our only advertising. Yeah. Smokerheadbarbecue.com is our main website.
Yep. And what's the location if anyone wants to go?
Yeah, we're at 417 State Road in Croydon, PA, Northeast PA. We're very close to, we're like 5 blocks from the Chamonix Creek Brewery.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens, man. We may be winding up outside Doylestown with another location. That'd be cool. It'd be closer.
Awesome, man. I'm excited to film some stuff, and we'll set that up with Matt, and we'll see if Gerald tag along, and we'll just make it like a weekend thing.
Hell yeah.
If anyone wants to listen to previous episodes, it's Never Again Radio on iTunes, Never Again Studio on Instagram, Never Again Studio on Facebook, and the YouTube channel, I think, is Never Again Studio as well. And you can subscribe to all that shit, leave reviews, do all that dumb shit, because that's what actually moves everything forward. So we'll have the audio first, and then we'll have the video, and then I'm now going to eat whatever cold.
I can't wait to turn the air conditioning back on, man.
It's so hot here. Thanks for listening.
Yes, ayahuasca. Thanks,
for
guys.
life.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys.
No.